you can. Yeah, it's legal now. Yeah, we're live. You're not looking for...
I am. I just got fired.
Did you?
Yeah.
For what, being too fucking awesome? Don't forget about the mic, and yeah, just be honest about it.
Actually,
So,
no. Actually,
I don't know if they
signed.
even heard you. So you said you got fired. I said for what, being too fucking awesome?
I signed an NDA, so I literally can't talk about it.
What are they gonna do?
They won't pay me my severance. I need that, dude. I'm broke as fuck right now.
Okay, well, you don't have to tell us this story, but you do have to talk into the microphone.
Yeah,
Dude, thank you for doing this, man.
thing, buddy.
Seriously, we've been friends for so long, dude, and it's like I've been trying to get you on the podcast since basically it started, and you were always like so apprehensive towards it. So I just appreciate you deciding to. You did come on that one Halloween one we did, but you and I always. So you're one of three people who basically, when you and I hang out, when Kevin and I hang out, and when Anwar and I used to hang out, we would get into conversations that were so dope and so like enthralling that I was like, this needs to be a podcast. Like I have a handful of friends that I have great conversations with. Sometimes it was about spiritual shit. Sometimes it was about physics, sports, maybe not with you sports, but like we would get deep and like really have real conversations. And it was so rare in regards to the conversations I was having with everybody else in my life. I was like, bro, I need to start a podcast. So that's why I've asked you like probably every 6 months, and you're like, so you finally said yes, and I'm so excited to have. I'm fucking pumped for that.
Bro, thank you. That was an amazing compliment.
Cheers.
Dude, I really appreciate that. That was an amazing compliment.
It's genuine, dude. It's genuine.
I've liked it too, dude. I have an issue. It's called avoidant attachment.
What is that? What does that mean?
So I don't reach out to people. I don't call people. I don't text people. Nothing. I have this internal. It's part of childhood trauma where you are just afraid of being rejected from your parents, as I've been rejected by them almost my entire life.
No joke. I think I
by
might have
both of
this.
them. So I mean, I have it. Some of my best friends have it, and thankfully they reach out to me. But
how did you learn you had this?
Because
did you do therapy or something?
Oh yeah, I've done.
You went to therapy?
I've been in therapy for over 10 years. Well, I haven't been in it for a couple of years, and I need to go back. But yeah, maybe about 10 years now. And I figured it out that way because I kept having failed relationships. And I couldn't understand why. It's because I'm not texting them during the day, and I still suck at it. But I'm not asking how they're doing. I'm not reaching out. I'm not telling them I want to see them. So, dude, it just kept happening, and even my, last few, it's sad, but it's a weird truth. It's one of my faults. You do want to
see, and you're just not saying it. Like,
yes.
You still have all these emotions.
I don't want them to know I want to see them.
You're just not good at outwardly being the initiator and saying, hey, let's engage. And this is probably true for beyond just the chicks. It's also probably true for buddies.
You don't want to make yourself vulnerable because you desire connection so much. I feel like I didn't have a lot of connection in life, so I desire it like crazy to the point where it can be overwhelming to people.
Interesting. What do you think makes you feel that way? Because, like, not to put you on the spot, but for me,
anything's open for us. Yeah.
For me, it was like, because I feel the same way most of the time. And for me, it was always because when I was young, I was skinnier than most guys, and I was taller than most guys. So I was very awkward and lanky.
Like the white Snoop.
And I just didn't feel like strong or cool or charismatic or good looking. So like, I just always felt like I was like not, and it stemmed from girls, not my parents necessarily. It stemmed from girls, like girl trouble. You know what I mean? So it just kind of like made me really like become very inward and very self-conscious. And that's what led to me becoming a drinker and smoking and like ironically becoming a lead singer. Was because I wanted to be the opposite of what I was, right? I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be outgoing, charismatic. And so I would like literally almost like, have you ever played The Sims?
Yes.
So, when you want to practice charisma, and go talk in front of the mirror? I did that, bro, at like 10 and 12 years old. I swear to God. Like, I would like
good enough.
Yeah, but I would be like,
beautiful.
I would like fake and work through interactions in school and like look at myself in the mirror. Like, what do I look like when I walk up to somebody? Like, what is my awkward body language like? And I worked on it. I genuinely worked on it like anybody works on any skill.
Yeah.
From like literally 10 to 12 years old. And I'm not exaggerating.
I did that too, actually. Yeah.
I wonder if most people actually, because where did they get that from in The Sims?
Practice like
somebody decided that's how people become charismatic is talking to themselves in the mirror.
They're teaching real skills, you know.
I wonder about that stuff.
I think it's true, dude. Like, dude, it's so embarrassing. It's so cringy. But like, remember like talking in the mirror and like practicing like how to like ask a girl out or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're like trying to practice your like sexy smile with.
Yeah, it's the worst. Especially when you look at pictures of yourself as a teenager. So there's like what you thought you looked like, and then there's how everybody else seen you, and you go, how did that ever get laid? I always said this. I said the only reason I ever got laid was because I was a musician. Because without playing guitar, I'm convinced no girl would have ever let me anywhere near her vagina. I'm sadly dead serious.
Yeah. I mean, no, I believe you. Trust me, I believe you.
I believe you. I wouldn't have fucked you either.
Yeah, I fucking believe you. I know this shit. I fucking believe you. No. That's funny. Dude, I didn't even comment on that. It's hilarious.
Oh, man. I got this dude I work with. I don't know why you just reminded me of this, but I got this dude I work with, and he gets really uncomfortable with some of the weird homophobic shit we do in the music scene. But I thought he was one of us because he's also a musician, right? So when I say homophobic, I don't mean homophobic. I mean like homoerotic, right? Like, so like,
yeah.
How often in our scene,
like napping together at a fest,
like not just napping, but like borderline actual spooning. Like,
no, that's not borderline. It's like, dude, when I was on tour with a death metal band I was in, we spooned one night, 3 of us in one bed at a hotel. It's just there was no room. We're like, you know what? Fuck it. We want to be comfortable. We want to have a good night's sleep.
That's too good for me, man.
It did feel gay. It did feel gay.
I'd be on the floor wrapped up in like 8 sheets. I don't give a fuck.
My buddy was like hugging me, and I'm just like, but
yeah, it's too much.
But I mean, his arms are tender, tender arms. So.
It was chilly, and he was warm.
Oh man.
No, but anyway, so I fucking like, and it's just weird shit, like because I make flippant comments, but they're not like. So, for example, how many times have you been walking through a crowd in our music scene and somebody will just reach out like they're gonna grab your dick?
Dude, all the time.
Like every time
dude,
you
literally
go out.
The last show I was at, some dude grabbed my dick. Like literally, a Shags from Nuisance, he grabbed my dick.
Thank you. So,
and my nipples, he touched my nipples too.
Almost none of us are actually gay.
Well,
almost none of us are actually
the older
gay.
Generation, probably not.
But my point is like, we're just all, even if we're not like best friends, like we're all close enough because we've all been to war together. So it's like, no, you're part of the family, you're part of the crew, fucking whatever. So
it's love.
So I walk up, and because my stepdad even, so this also extends past the music scene thing where like I walk up and I'll like go to give you a titty twister. I'll go to just pinch your nipple as we're walking by each other. Well, this really fucking bothered. And then I also have this thing I'll do every once in a while where I'll walk by and I'll see you and I'll go, hey, Ian. And I'll get your attention. I'll be like, you looking like a stud. And then I'll just leave. And then I'll just leave. You looking good, buddy. And then I'll just leave. Like, I'm not actually hitting on you. It's just kind of like a quick little like, hey, man, I noticed you put some effort in tonight. You fucking, I'm not going to like bust it out for you like a chick. Oh my God, I love your hair. You trimmed your beard. It looks so good. But I'll be like, hey, man, you look fucking great tonight, dude. You look, sometimes we'll even go too far and be like, I'd totally fuck you if I were gay tonight. And then you just leave, right? Because you're not actually hitting us. Anyways, he is not fucking
okay,
good.
Why'd you bring me here? All right. I mean, it's starting to, no.
So he is super uncomfortable with this shit, but never said anything.
Okay.
And then like I said something the other day, because I'm just an ass, I'm so dumb about how I handle things. I walk up and sarcastically, he's way superior to me in his skill versus my skill. and I'm the new guy. So I think it's a good joke. I walk up and I go, "Hey, man, I just wanted to tell you, dude, I'm really proud of you, man. Like, you've come a long way since I've started." And everybody I said this to laughs, right? And he looks at me and he goes, "Huh?" And I go, "Don't get me wrong, you're still a complete piece of shit, but you're really good at your job." Yeah. He was like, "You know what? Fuck you, man. I fucked way more hot pussy than you ever have, dude." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, that's a weird insult. And I go, "Maybe you have. I don't know." And then I swear to God, and he goes, "This is why nobody likes you, man." And that fucked me up, dude. Because I was like, I go, "Why would you say that?" And he goes, "Oh, I found your center? Oh yeah, you found my center a while ago, you little bitch."
Holy
and I was like,
shit.
"Where is all this animosity?" Dude, it was real. Like, I'm saying it jokingly because I'm over it now, but like whatever happened to, because we were talking about this earlier, whatever happened to dudes just drawing boundaries and be like, "Hey man, that thing you just said and did, that's too far. You do it again. We have to fight." No, we don't do that anymore. Now we keep our mouth shut and we just build up animosity until we say something so hurtful that it'll fuck a dude's whole psychology up. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, it would have just been like, "Dude, listen, man, you fucking grab my nipples again, I'm gonna fucking seriously knock you out." And then you go, "Oh, my bad. I didn't realize that was a line for you." Because with me and my buddies, grabbing nipples is literally nothing. Like, I mean, dude, do you remember when I was in Dying Euphoria and I used to sneak up and slap you guys in the face? Do you remember this?
No, I don't actually.
Shit face, like almost blackout, juices loose, drunk, right? And I would see somebody, and I'd weave through the crowd. Duck down like a shark. And I would walk up and I would pop up right in front of somebody, slap them across the face, duck, and scurry back through the crowd so they couldn't even chase me. Yeah. Oh man, people got mad. Ryan Zimmerman, Rain, got me back one time so fucking hard he broke my glasses, dude, because he didn't slap me in the cheek, dude. He got the whole side of my face like fucking that UFC slap contest shit, dude. Absolutely annihilated.
I got a funny thing that.
Who's texting you? Is it important?
No, it isn't. I was just seeing if like there's volume issues or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's smart. That is smart. If that
dude, he got me back really good too for something I did to him. Like, I was at a show one time and I just thought it'd be funny to put my nuts in someone's hand. So I went up to him and I pulled my nuts out and I put them in his hand. And he's like, what the fuck, dude? He totally didn't expect it at all. So later on, we're chilling. It was after one of the Metal Fest softball tournaments, and we're chilling, and I'm just drunk, like on a patio somewhere. And I just feel like this warm sensation on my shoulder. And then I see Jeremy Blake just laughing his ass off, and he pointing and laughing. And so I was like, "Oh, fine." I look over and I just see these giant nuts on my shoulder.
Dude, Ryan had a dong on him too. Dude, one time we were at rehearsal and we were partying after rehearsal, and we got so drunk. Ryan passed out in the hallway, and he's like this, right? And all of a sudden we just hear this little. Just a very light little, and we all what the fuck was that? We looked down and Ryan's dick fell out of his shorts out of the cement, and it's so big it made a noise, dude. It was like, and me and Jeremy just looked at it and "Oh, what?" Dude, it was so weird, dude.
Just like a snake getting paralyzed. Just
fucking it just, oh my god, dude.
Oh man, it's funny because it probably fell at the end first and just went down and snapped at the tip.
Man, bro, you gotta wear underwear if it's that big, dude, because that was out of pocket, quite literally, man. That shit fell on the ground, dude. You gotta fucking. The only time I've ever seen that is one time I was in Jamaica. And we were driving down the street and there's this dude. He was homeless, and it was so fucking hot out, and I don't know if he was drunk or not, but same thing. He passed out on the ground, and he was wearing shorts, and his whole fucking anaconda was on the ground. And I'm telling you, his whole dick went down to his knee.
Jesus.
It was the biggest, and I just kept looking at it.
Is that real?
I'm definitely still not gay, but I can't stop looking at this dude's dick. There was no questioning of anybody's sexuality, but I was fascinated. I was I didn't know they got that big.
Well, I got news for you, all right? There is a question here. You can't just dismiss it out of nowhere. I mean, we're going to investigate this eventually.
Speaking of weird shit, so I'm going to tell you this, and then I got to piss because I forgot to piss before we started this. So I'm going to tell you this, and then I'll let you riff on this. So I'm at work, and I'm sitting in my car, and I'm smoking a cigar, and I look around, you know, because sometimes guys will just stare at you and it's weird, so I just have like a natural paranoia.
Yeah.
So I look over and I don't see anybody, and I look over and I don't see anybody. I'm like, all right, so, you know, if I pick my nose and eat a boog or whatever, I don't actually do that, but you get my point.
Sure.
So
sure you do.
So long story short, I'm sitting there and I see something like this out of the corner of my eye. So I look over and there's nobody in this car next to me. Like, where is this fucking thing coming from? What am I seeing? It's tripping me out. So I start looking harder and harder. And all of a sudden, I look at this dude's window, and in the window, somehow I'm getting this weird reflection. I just see his hand going back and forth. And then I focus, and I'm like, and then I see his dick.
No,
and two thoughts go through my head. First thought is, nice dick, dude. Like, that's a big one. Like, you got a hog on you. Second of all, I'm like, dude, you're at work. Like, how bad is it? And then I realize his wife's pregnant, right? So I'm like, oh, okay.
You still have sex when you're pregnant.
Well, maybe she's not. I don't know. But dude, the problem is I sat there and watched him for a while.
Dude, this just happened the other day.
And I'm like, dude,
because you texted me about it. Like,
I'm
dude, like
is
the other
day that I watched him finish, dude.
Yeah, you did text me that, and dude, I think I said, yes, it's gay. You sat and watched a dude jerk off and finish. Yeah, that's gay, dude.
Most of my friends,
gay as fuck.
Most of my friends said it's only gay if you started jerking off as well. Then it's gay. And then some of my friends were like, it's only gay if you asked him if you could help him finish. So you're not helping me with my self-esteem right now, homie.
Do you have something wrong with being gay?
Oh fuck no, dude. But I love the awkward work interactions now that I have an actual job again. It's hilarious, dude, because it's
watching guys jerk off, man. I
bro,
bet
in
you
the
love
parking
it.
lot.
I'm
Like,
just kidding.
Bro, I've been horny. I remember being like 18, 20, 22 years old. I mean, so fucking horny I had to jerk off at work, but I went in the bathroom like a normal fucking adult.
Yeah, like a respectable human.
Yeah, like a respectable
I jerked
human.
off in the porta potty, like a respectable human.
Who the fuck jerks off in their car in public?
That dude from fucking Pornhub. You know the guy.
Wait, what?
Nothing. Never mind. Definitely not a channel I watch. Definitely not a channel I watch.
Oh fuck!
Man, I can't get this plug out of here.
Here, just re-punch it.
I did, but it didn't pull it out.
Oh really?
No.
Here, let me look at it. Let me see what. Yeah, you pulled it out. There's no plug.
Okay, it's really tight.
Is it? Shouldn't be, because it's a Cohiba, but I mean,
real tight.
Anything's possible. The only other thing I can think of is I don't have my fucking. I used to have this thing. You go into the end and it would like pull the tightness out. I don't know how. I don't know what. We do have a couple people actually watching. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It's been a long time since we've been back. It's good to be back. Fuck. Been too fucking long. I had so much of my life I had to get back together. And it's not like my life was falling apart, but like I had to stop podcasting because there was so much shit, so many ducks I had to get in a row that I couldn't do with the amount of time I was dedicating to everything else. So I had to hit the reset button, reprioritize everything. Once I was comfortable, got everything in a row, I was like, all right, let's bring the podcast. Plus we were having major equipment issues. That fucking computer, that Mac, is not meant to run a podcast with fucking 3 monitors, multiple sources. It was bad. But this motherfucker's a beast, and we'll be rocking this son of a bitch for a while. So I'm excited to be back, dude. And we got a producer. I think I told you that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yep, we got a producer. He's not here tonight. It's going to be probably a month before, maybe even 2 months before he actually gets up to speed and we're rocking. But hopefully this way I can just concentrate on booking and being a good host.
Yeah.
You know, instead of trying to actually worry about the technical aspects, because it's a huge distraction. And I think it's like, I was about to use a really bad analogy and I was about to be like, it's like being your own roadie. Like, no, that's not a good way to do that. It's
like being your own roadie. It's like
trying to tune your own guitar. Yeah, everybody does it.
Did you watch that Burtcast with Shinedown like 2 weeks ago?
I listened to it, and I actually was kind of impressed.
Dude, it was
and I kind of like those guys now.
I know. I wasn't a really big fan of them, but like, or even Bert. I don't really care for Bert in particular.
I love Bert, but I get your point.
But man, that really exposed why he is the way he is. Like, he's just this like irrational kind of like just in the moment dude all the time.
My favorite thing I heard about Bert was when his wife accused him of being a narcissist, and then his wife had to go talk to a psychiatrist because Bert's like, I'm not a narcissist. So she went and talked to her psychiatrist,
I'm not a narcissist.
and then they came back and they were like, you're what's called a soft narcissist. And he did a whole fucking talk with his wife on their own podcast.
I remember that. Yeah.
So
that was
I
weird.
had to go research this because I'm like, what the fuck is a soft narcissist? I found out I'm a soft narcissist. And what it means is there's like 5 or 6 different archetypes of narcissism, right?
Okay.
And so...
Is this like for the future DSM? Or something?
Basically what it boils down to is there's like, most of them are harmless, by the way. There's only 1 or 2 where it gets like toxic and like it starts hurting people. Soft narcissists check like 1, maybe 2 boxes from each type of narcissism, but they don't fill up any of the boxes entirely. So like 21 traits or whatever it is. Yeah, it's like, and I think there's like 6 or 8 traits from each type of narcissism, right? And guys like Bert and I have like 1 box from that one, but I don't fill out all those. No one would ever describe me as that.
Guys like Bert and I, we're just, troubled people. Guys like Bert,
soft narcissists,
Warren Buffett, Mahatma Gandhi, guys like us.
I love you so much, dude. I love you so much, bro. Honestly, I've told you this when we're doing the cookouts in the gazebo too. You'll say some shit and I'll be like, God damn, I need more people like you in my life. Because you call me out when I say dumb shit. You're on it immediately. You're like, oh yeah, guys like you and Bert, huh? I love it because it's so true. I'm like, yeah, I did just say that, and no, I didn't mean it.
It isn't truth like that. It's fun. It's fun.
It's good, and that's the good-natured ribbing that like most of us need in our life. Because it's like, no, you're right. I did say some stupid shit just now, and especially the way you do it always helps me laugh at my own idiocy. Whereas, like, if certain people do it the wrong way, right, you get defensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm with you. I get
when
defensive.
You bust me out, when you call me out, and it seems to not matter how or what is happening. Like, every time I'm like, nope, you're right. You got me, bro. And we just start giggling about it. Like, dude, we were doing a cookout last summer.
I think it's because we're both, like, big comedy fans, too.
You're probably right. And I think being musicians help. And we've both been in, like, real bands where it's like, no, dude, you don't get that kind of ego. Like, you're just one of the guys. Like, like, and the more you think you're the shit, the harder we're going to troll you. I always joke about that with guys who played sports and have been in bands. Like, those are the guys I need to be around because I need to be able to talk shit to you. And if I can't talk shit to you, or if you're being toxic and I can't hold you accountable, like, dude, I can't be friends.
Do you ever watch MMA?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I watch every fight. If you ever every fight, every single fight.
I know I see
every fight night, every pay-per-view.
For some reason, these 2 cigars are a little tight because I'm actually having a hard time keeping this one lit too.
Yeah,
I'm almost about ready to go grab 2 more.
I gotta draw it really hard to get it.
In fact, I'm gonna grab 2 more.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
Yeah, it's burning me because I'm drawing so hard.
I'll scoop them out and chop them off and re-smoke them later. But here, you do it because you're on that side. So it's in that fucking cigar humidor up there. It's the Cohiba box in the middle. We're smoking Cohibas now. My wife bought me that beautiful humidor for our anniversary, for our 5-year wedding anniversary. I don't think you're actually supposed to put a box in there like that, but I decided to because I don't give a fuck.
Do you mind if I peek?
Yeah. I'll talk some shit. You gotta piss and then I gotta piss. I need to reload all the music, dude, so we can take breaks. No, we don't have to take a break. I'm saying, like, we used to just be like, all right, let's take a piss break, and we'd just queue up a song. But I don't have any of that loaded into this new setup. It's not the best, but until I have a producer that can continue the conversation, another month or 2. But, dude, I'm so excited for the future, you guys. Thank you for the 2, 3, 4, 5 of you that have already shown up and decided to come hang out with us. Appreciate you guys. We are back doing podcasts regularly on Thursdays. I just started booking the podcast, so we don't have every single Thursday booked yet. It's looking like July, hopefully, will be officially fully booked. I do have podcasts in June, but I think we have a couple weeks out. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to go piss real quick, and then you can talk shit about me while I'm gone. Topic?
I don't know.
What should we do? So usually I don't have to piss.
I'm not a podcast, so I don't want to.
So usually I don't have to piss this early, so it's not ever a thing. But I fucking just forgot, dude. I should have pissed like 5 minutes before we started. Dude, I forget everything. I'm so bad at managing my time now. It's a problem. It's an actual fucking.
I'm with you. Dude, I've actually Googled how to manage your time. And like it's like no helpful advice. It's like be more responsible or something like that. And like that doesn't help me.
Dude, I did a bunch of mushrooms recently. And that was what the fucking mantra. So every mushroom trip I come out with something like a mantra, like a phrase.
Yeah, same here, actually, yeah.
And the last one was be more responsible. Swear to God. Like that was it. Yeah. Like I am an irresponsible person, which I'm not. Like I've talked to people I know and respect, and they're like, "You are not irresponsible," and I'm like, "Dude, my subconscious thinks I am. My subconscious thinks I'm a complete and utter fuck up." Like everything out of that last mushroom trip was like, "Nope." Dude, I had a list. My brain or my consciousness gave myself a list. Oh, you think you're on top of your shit? You fuck this up. You fuck this, and it was all things of like neglect and irresponsibility. Where if I would have done it, I'd feel good about myself right now.
Yeah.
That I actually had a bad trip because I couldn't forgive myself for being irresponsible on like 14 things. None of them were major, but they all added up to this is why every summer you get stuck with this problem. This is why every winter you get hit with this problem. This is why every 2 years you do it because you don't ever actually do what you need to do. You're fucking irresponsible. So it's weird that you say that because that's what the mushrooms told me too. You're irresponsible. I gotta piss.
Oh yeah.
When's the last time you did mushrooms?
I'll keep going on that. Actually, that
or the responsible.
Yeah, I think honestly, mushrooms reveal your subconscious, which is actually what is referred to as your superego, which is formed in your early formative years of life, and whoever impacts that negatively can cause some trauma and cause your internal voice to be very shameful, in my case, neglectful. There's a whole host of traits. I guess I can only label the ones that, I go through. So it makes me wonder, is that, a lot of people have like this ridiculous theory that mushrooms, are a teacher or something, or some sort of supernatural thing that teach you. But they might just remove your ego to the point where they expose your real problems that are deep down. Perhaps worth pursuing a little more. That's what I do. I do kind of the same thing. If I haven't done a mushroom trip in quite a few years. Probably almost 10 years. It's probably been since I've done an actual mushroom trip. But I do kind of the same thing as you. I develop a mantra through it. I set up several different stages throughout my house. I'll have my bedroom with its own music and lighting. I'll have my basement, my music room with all of its own music and lighting. I'll have my living room with its own music and lighting, and my garage.
No shit.
I take it fucking really seriously.
That's pretty cool.
I prefer LSD over mushrooms, though.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, very much so. For some reason, we're gonna lube that. Oh, I gotta lube that up.
Yeah, I'm not sucking on your cigar for you.
I'm not sucking on the cigar you sucked on.
I heard Ari say something about this recently. He prefers Ari Shafir. For people that don't know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Balls. God.
I've never seen his balls somehow.
You didn't see the live Kill Tony last one? Dude, he walked out.
No, every time he does this, I'm somehow not watching that episode. So when he walked out on Legion of Skanks with this fucking dick out, the next time when he walked out with a box of shit, no, I've somehow missed all of raunchy Ari.
My
So
favorite
let's get back
comment.
to what you were saying though.
Quickly though, like my favorite comment on that video about his balls was like, this guy's like, dude, what? My wife just asked me, why are his balls so swollen?
Oh my god, dude, what's wrong with us?
Dude, it's so funny. It's so humiliating too.
God, dude. So, but I heard Ari talk about how he prefers LSD over mushrooms because he said, and I want to see if you agree with this. He said it's cleaner.
Oh yeah, I can control my mind more.
What?
Dude,
For me, it's the exact opposite.
Dude, mushrooms make me lose my fucking shit.
For
I
me,
don't
it's
know
the
what it is.
exact
I'm gonna post it
opposite.
up first. But dude, I have no control with mushrooms whatsoever. My mind goes crazy. Dude, I weep like crazy. I relive a lot of trauma. I have to have like a therapist with me virtually.
Wow. That's really surprising because for me, it's the exact opposite. For me,
And for most people too. I've heard this from everyone.
The mushrooms are they're more pure, they're more healthy. Whereas when I do acid, it was very synthetic, very digital, very man-made. I wasn't connecting with the earth. I wasn't connecting with God. I wasn't.
Really? Okay.
No, I wasn't. I was connecting with the devil. Like it was bad. It was not.
Yeah, that's weird. That's the same thing that happened to me with mushrooms. God damn it, I can't get this one out either.
The visuals are way stronger on acid for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But, dude, I did these mushrooms.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
I don't know what the fuck they're called. I don't remember what the fucking mushrooms are called. I still got a bunch of them.
What do they look like?
They're all white with blue stripes in them, and it's not Blue Dream. And the caps are like super wide and flat.
What color are the caps?
White.
All white?
All white. Everything's all white. And
I don't know what that is.
dude, so we've talked about this. I do like 7 grams once a year.
Dude, that's some fucking mental maintenance right there, dude.
It is. Yeah,
dude,
that's the
7
point.
grams.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be fun.
Dude, that's harder than Terrence McKenna went.
Yeah, that's why I always laugh when people go, "Oh, heroic dose." I'm like, that's not a heroic dose, homie. I'll show you a heroic dose. For me, 5 grams is the perfect dose.
It's a good Samaritan dose.
For me, 5 grams is the perfect dose because 3.5 is never enough for me. 1/8 is never enough, and 1/4 is a bit much. Like I've never done it 1/4 and been like, yeah, this is the right amount. For me, it's that 1/8. That's what. So I wouldn't call that a heroic dose. For me, a heroic dose where I'm like, no, I'm doing therapy. This is not supposed to be comfortable. We got something to figure out. Yeah. That's when I do 7. I do it about once a year, and dude,
it's crazy.
It's a bit much, dude.
Especially the variance between different mushrooms out there and the effects they have.
Yeah, these last ones were the most powerful mushrooms I've ever done in my entire life.
Dude, the most powerful ones I ever had were black. They were all black, skinny, real long stems, and they had tiny black caps. I have no idea what they were. But my favorite are golden teachers. They refine those. They're like the classic cube that is like, has the yellow cap, the classic little...
I know somebody who has a hybrid of that called Golden Nugget. And they're very, very strong.
Interesting.
I think I might actually have I have a lot of mushrooms.
Let's go.
I have a lot of mushrooms. I'm not tripping again till the end of July. Coheed and Cambria, Primus, Outdoor Amphitheater, St. Cloud. I'm taking it.
Yeah, this sounds like an up your alley kind of show.
I'm probably just going to do an 1/8 so I can keep it pretty chill.
Dude, this one's so much better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird that we both got a tight one. Because this one also is easier to keep lit too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those weird, areas in life where you don't want a tight one. Vaginas, vaginas.
Vagina joke.
Vaginas.
But you pay for the reason you pay and you're willing to pay $20 per cigar for a Cohiba is because you're not supposed to ever get a bad one. Most of that cost is advertising and a lot of quality control. So they're throwing away a lot of.
Is this through your sponsor? No, this is your own personal.
Yeah, Marco V is our sponsor, and he just sends you the cheap
pay
ones.
that much?
No. Okay. I got a different deal for these, but they're not sponsored.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. 100%. Thank you. Dude, you're a good host. Whenever I come over to watch a game or something, you always have food. You always have
I do like hosting people and doing that. That's I enjoy that.
I appreciate that about you.
I appreciate you appreciating me, bro.
Oh, I appreciate you. Let's see that cock. I mean, nothing.
So you haven't seen Baby Reindeer yet?
No.
Dude, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but everybody needs to watch it. I
had a friend suggest it to me, and she was like, "You need to watch this."
So I don't know how to talk about it with somebody who hasn't seen it yet, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, but I will say this.
Appreciate that.
People are fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah, people
are fucking stupid.
People are really fucking stupid.
And it's not just about being dumb like you got tricked. What I mean is people are stupid as in they make a lot of bad fucking decisions. Like most of our problems are from and actually I think I almost corrected myself. I think I am saying this right. Most of our problems are because you made a bad decision. Not one, like 150 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, bad choices 10 years ago can lead to personality changes.
And specifically what I mean by that, and specifically why I paused and double down on it is if you make enough bad decisions in a row, it will negatively affect me. And that can affect our friendship, which means I can't be there for you, which means you lose a friend because you're making bad decisions that have nothing to fucking do with me. But when you do it enough, you become a problem. There's so much drama and bullshit that surrounds you where you come into my world and I'm like, I want nothing to do with this guy, let alone become buddies and try to help him work through it. And so it kind of like leads into that whole thing we hear a lot about, which is like who you hang around with is who you become. And that's why people are like, yeah, I'm not trying to help everybody, dude. I can barely fucking handle my own shit. I want to be around successful people that are doing dope things that inspire me, because when I'm around people who are angry, bitter, complaining, everything's drama, I can't move forward in my life because my mind, my bandwidth, everything, all my energy is your guys' bullshit.
Yeah,
now, Baby Reindeer's one guy who made a lot of bad decisions in a row.
You get to a point.
But it starts affecting the people around him, and that's my only.
Yes, yeah, that's a great point, because you eventually get to the point where you realize it's not your responsibility to heal other people.
Right, you got to take care of yourself. Nobody's going to come in and save you.
And you need to do that to get good people in your life that take care of themselves.
Yep.
And so many people they lean on you so hard, and I understand that's like part of the culture. If a friend, whatever, if a friend's in need when they're hurting or whatever. It sounds like I'm blowing off something really serious, but I'm not. But it really.
No, you're right. You're basically in order for me to answer that call, I have to have my shit together first.
Yes.
Okay. Then we need to be in a group where most of us have our shit together most of the time. So when one of us stumbles, we can pick you up. But if you're surrounded by fuck ups who their lives are constantly surrounded by drama, even if they say they're there for you, they can't be because they don't have their shit together. So all you're doing is meddling in each other's drama and each other's drama and trauma, and nobody's healing or growing or getting better. You're just perpetuating the same fucking cycle of bull. So yeah, I can have like one person in my life who's super fucked up at a time. You know what I mean?
Same here, because it brings me down.
Yeah.
And I have a hard enough time dealing with my own bullshit. I have a very hard time with it.
That's the key.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Dude, you've done some serious growth since the last time I talked to you. God damn.
I mean,
that's
maybe.
Here's
my problem.
Dude, that's a great point, though. No, that's a very, very important thing to come to as a person.
Thank you for saying that. But to be fair, I'm really good at this kind of philosophical shit. I'm really bad at applying it to my own life. And that's not a unique thing either. Like I'm the epitome of every dude, which is I'm really good at giving advice. I'm really good at taking advice. I'm not good at applying my own advice.
Epitome of every dude.
I'm not even a unique guy. You know what I mean? Like all my flaws, there's a million guys with the same fucking flaw. Get over it. That's my big thing is like, get over it. Like everybody has this problem. I'm not this special snowflake. Like, dude, there's a million people who are dealing with the exact same problem, probably worse, and they're making it.
For sure worse.
So, like,
than us in America?
Yeah.
For sure worse.
Oh, my God. You said
we're sitting down here smoking cigars and drinking beer.
Like, Cohibas, too. Like, we're living the life right now, dude. Like, we're literally in the top 1%
No, but I agree
of the
with
world.
that. But that does, to maybe bring it to a different level, that makes me feel extremely guilty for how depressed I suffer with depression so bad. It makes me feel super guilty.
That post you made hit me real hard because I was like, I feel this. So,
bro, my life is so good.
So tell people what you posted exactly word for word.
Oh, I can't remember. Something about
it was perfect. There was no fat in this post.
Just talking about.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up. I think I can quote you. It was, I have awesome friends, awesome relationships, awesome band. I have no right or business being this depressed or something to that effect.
Yep.
And that spoke to my soul. And I was like, yeah, you're fucking right, dude. Yeah, and we had already booked the podcast by this point, which is another reason I didn't even hit you up about it. Talk about it podcast. Like, yeah, more people need to think like that, dude. Because what that does is I think it makes you go, so it's clearly not them, it's me. And that's the first step to healing, right? That's the first step to personal growth. That's the first step to, quote unquote, cliche alert, being a man, right? Like, dude, get your fucking shit together.
Man, don't hit me like that. Oh, God damn, dude.
Your facial expression says it all, dude.
No, I struggle with it, man.
Jeremy asked me that a while back.
I struggle with becoming like the man I should be. The man we all aspire to be. I struggle with a lot. I know I'm killing it in like 90% of my life.
You're a main character, right?
Fucking killing it. But
you know this, right? You're a main character. You know this, right?
I don't understand what you mean.
So there's main characters and there's side characters. The worst thing you could possibly do for your
and what do they call them?
In life, right? So there's NPCs.
NPC.
So the worst thing you could do though is think you're the main character because there is no such thing. There is no the main character, right?
You're absolutely right.
But there are guys who
except in women's life.
And every guy is a main character in his own life, but some guys are main characters in a lot of people's life, right? Because not everybody is the main guy. So literally, not everybody can be Captain Picard. Okay, some guys are a really good Riker. Okay, they're a really good number 2. Like, that's their role, is to actually help great leaders. And if they're smart and they have a good, humble ego, they actually take pride in that because it's the same phrase. It's the same idea as behind every great man is a great woman. Now, stupid people nowadays will go, oh, so the woman is behind the man. No, what that means is that man ain't shit without that woman.
Bro, I need a good woman behind me. Keep my shit in line now.
Life is so much easier. And honestly, the real phrase should be by his side. Like, beside every great man is a great woman, because we stand shoulder to shoulder. But back in the day, they didn't. Back in the day, they literally had to stand behind us, which is where that phrase came from. Because they just literally, by law, weren't allowed to be out there with the men. They had to stand. You stood behind your man.
I mean, it depends how far back you go. I mean, they were behind you because you're dragging them by their hair.
I thought you were going to say it depends on how far back you go, because about 17 weeks ago, it was they're behind you pegging you.
What? Why? Why'd you go there?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I went to a dark place.
No, we could go to somewhere really good here. Lost my point of reference, so we could go to somewhere really good.
Having a good woman behind you, it makes life
before
easier.
Then,
being a man.
Well, it'll come back.
Hopefully. If it's
actually shit, dude, it was gonna make me cry. It was just some good shit. You're gonna want to capture this, all right? Some fucking gold, all right?
I do need to work on that. Like, when we start going somewhere, I keep talking and I.
Oh no, but I interrupted you to made me forget it. Okay.
But basically, what I was getting at was like this idea of like what it is to be a man is the idea that like. You got to get your shit together before you can help other people. And if I paint a literal picture, meaning I can't save Minneapolis or do anything for Minneapolis at all, okay?
Yeah.
I can't even save North Minneapolis. I can't even save the Falwell neighborhood that I live in, right? Let alone, I also, guess what? I can't even save this block, okay? Until I have every single thing figured out here, and then I'm able to give that help to somebody else, whether it's monetarily, whether it's time, whether it's advice, whether it's wisdom, doesn't matter.
Interesting.
And I have to be in a position where people go, yeah, that's a guy I want to accept help, advice, wisdom, life, all that from, right? Then you can actually start to greater effect. Then it would just be, like you said, my actual direct neighbors. Then once we've got that mastered, then we can handle the block, then we can handle the neighborhood, then we can handle North Minneapolis, so then you run for mayor. You don't start off as a renter who's 30 grand in debt, complaining about capitalism, just skipping all the life steps to run for mayor. Like, dude, what are you doing? You don't even know what you're talking about. Have you ever run a business? Even if you failed, like, have you ever done anything outside of paying your fucking cell phone bill? No.
I understand your philosophy right here.
It's a weird analogy.
I understand,
but it does track.
I understand your philosophy here, but it kind of implies that you can reach a state of like true enlightenment where you're like a perfect person.
No,
so where does that apply?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no,
I didn't mean that, but go ahead.
I'm asking, like, where does flaws apply in that philosophy?
So I don't think it's about the idea of being perfect versus being flawed. I think what it means is that you have a process and an order of solving problems, and you've mastered that process in your own life. Now you can start to apply that process outwardly.
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, it sounds like you have a way to recognize your own flaws within relationships when you fuck up, and you can apologize and make things right before they get too far.
Or in my case, the literal irresponsibility of neglecting the remodel or mowing the lawn, or you can take this analogy any direction you want to go. But yes, you are correct. Once you get that down, then you're in a position. So, for example, let's say my marriage is highly flawed, disorganized, absolutely chaotic. I'm in and out of jail every 6 months because we get in a fucking domestic dispute. I'm in no fucking position to give my little brother advice when his relationship is going wrong.
Yes. Okay. I see your point. Yeah.
But I'm not in that situation, right? Like, I learned how to have a great marriage with my wife. So I can't tell anybody else how their fucking marriage is going to work, but I can definitely tell them what to stay the fuck away from, because I've been in enough toxic relationships to know red flags when I see them. Yeah. And now I know a really healthy relationship because I'm fucking in one. So now I can go, hey, bro, now I can do what Charlie did for me before we started the podcast. What Charlie did for me is he said, here's your advice. You want to meet a great woman and be happy? Find a woman that you love to be around. She's genuinely enjoyable to be with. And make sure she's easy to make come. That was his serious advice. Because if you can't please her in the sack, seriously, and he explained this if you can't please her in the sack,
that's a problem.
And you don't even enjoy being around her, that's a doomed relationship.
Well, you don't want to not be pleased either.
Right. So. That's exactly the point. But it's that simple. And it took him years of successful and failed relationships to learn that's all it takes for a man to be happy. Be able to make her come and enjoy being around her when you're not banging. There you go. That's all you can ask for and look for. Everything else is on you to work out.
Dude is just out here preaching men's language.
It was facts.
Okay, so I remember what we were talking about. You're talking about main characters, and we got sidetracked.
You're a main character, yeah. So not everybody can be the man. Not everybody can be the leader. Some of us, and for me, it depends on the situation. Sometimes I am the man. Other times I'm way better at being number two, and other times I just want to be a guy.
You can say that
again. Other times I just want to be a guy. I don't want to have any responsibility. I want to show up, do my job, and go the fuck home. But the point is I think it's unhealthy if you turn around and think you're the main character, because nobody's the main character. But everybody needs to realize that you're in every situation. So you might be a main character at home, but you're a side character at work, or vice versa. When you come home, your wife and children might be the main characters. You might be raising a fucking NFL player. you're the side character in that story. But at work, you're the main character, or you're a main character. Okay. So it's about balancing your ego and understanding, where do I fit in this situation, in this, like almost some Jordan Peterson shit. There's always a hierarchy. Where do I fit in on this totem pole in this situation with this group of people?
And is it worth it, and all that stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
And, obviously, so then you make your choice with who you want to have a child with.
If you're lucky, some of us don't have the best pull-out game, Like, I know a lot of buddies who, I think you're not in this situation. You have a kid, and you're not with mom, but I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about guys who can't leave mom, and mom is ruining dad's life, which is turning dad into a bad dad. Like, he's not even a good father at this point, and it's because mom is so toxic.
You're talking about my life.
I'm talking about a lot of guys' lives, dude.
Dude, I'm not even lying. Like, so why I wanted to go back to that point is I hate that I'm perceived that way.
As a
main character.
You're a main character because you're awesome, dude. You're great to be around. That. You're so talented. You're so charismatic. You're fucking smart as shit.
The list goes on and on. Let's go.
Dude, here's the thing: is when you're not around, one of the phrases that people that really know you and have had deep conversations like me, one of us will be like, "That motherfucker is one of the smartest people." And you may not be like a physicist talking about quantum mechanics at its deepest level.
My brother is, though.
But bro, like, philosophically, you and I have had some conversations where I was like, oh, okay, this isn't just another bro who loves to drink and play music. Like, this is a smart fucking guy, and I'm way too high to have this conversation with him right now. So, like,
speaking of,
I'm like, and then I even said this to you one time we were rehearsing. I went, yeah, because like it was the Mitch Hedberg joke in my head where I was like, I should have just said yeah. Like, it was the end of that joke happening in my head. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have opened this can of worms. I'm not ready for this conversation. It was a conversation I could have, but not that night. It was just one of those. But
thank you.
No, I just want you to realize that, man, because it goes back to the thing where you were like, I have no right being this depressed. You're right. You don't. You're awesome. Right?
Thank you.
You may have flaws, you may have huge insecurities, dude, but here's the thing, most of us don't see it. Like, even when you're in a problem, like,
it doesn't matter though, it's still there, it's still there.
We love the loose juice.
I know, but it's still there.
When I get drunk, dude, I get super arrogant and preachy, and like I start using big words and like fucking I condescend people and shit, dude. Like, it's bad, bro.
I bust out the thesaurus and beefing up my posts.
I've been confronted on this. Like, people have actually said this. When you get really drunk, dude, you get like really like pretentious, and you start using like obnoxiously big words, and like you start trying to sound really smart. And I'm like, man, I don't have an answer for that one, dog. Like, I don't know what I'm doing there.
I don't have a correct pontification for that one.
I think what's happening is I'm getting so drunk, I realize I'm stupid, and I'm like, no,
making up for it.
Put up all the defenses. Use every word in your fucking arsenal.
Dude, that's good, man. That's funny. Dude, that's a bit. I know you told me I should be a comedian, but I think you should too. And dude, that'd be a fun journey to go on together.
I would love
if
to
we had the time,
Honestly,
it's a time
man,
thing.
I've been trying to get Jeremy Blake to do the same thing, and I go, Jeremy, let's start together. And he goes, comedy duo acts don't work. And I go, I'm not talking about on stage at the same time. I'm saying let's all go to open mics together.
Jeremy would kill it. That gorgeous,
Jeremy would crush.
That gorgeous man.
He's really good at the self-deprecating shit too.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have to be funny. He can just like go up there and just be eye candy. But he is funny. He's fucking hilarious.
That's another great example of what we were talking about though too, because it's like a lot of the things he's insecure about, the rest of us are just like, what? Shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, he looks like the perfect guy.
Well, and like he's got like this mole on his cheek now, and he's like, oh, it's my fucking, and he always mentions it like it's some problem. It's like, dude, no one else notices it. Yeah. If anything, that's your fucking Cindy Crawford mole.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, dude.
The male Cindy Crawford.
You know what I mean though? Like, so many of us, I've learned recently over the last year, is so many of us, what we're insecure about is not what everybody else criticizes us for.
That's interesting. I never even noticed the mole.
Like, I feel like I'm one of the only people who my insecurity properly reflects what everyone criticizes me for. My arrogance, it's my fucking douchery, and I get a little flippant sometimes, and I try to make a joke and it comes across the wrong way and I piss somebody off. Like, it's
I got
super
that one.
accurate. It's super,
I got that one.
I'm just saying, they're right. They're right.
Wow.
All the criticisms about me are right. They're dead on. 100%. The rest of you guys, though, it's like what you guys are insecure about, it's not accurate. Like, all the shit you always talk about, I'm like, yeah, but you don't act like that. At least I've never seen this version of you.
Well,
and we have this conversation every time this comes up. I'm like, yeah, I've never seen that side of you, dude. So either...
I mean, I put on a good show. I mean, I had to. So my point was when my parents got divorced when I was 11, my mom sat me down, like, you're the man of the house now. You got to take care of everyone.
How old were you? 7?
11.
Oh, 11.
I say 7. I'm in 11, but...
You probably said 11.
She was like, if anyone fucks up, it's on you, and you're the first one on it. She punished
That's
me.
a lot of pressure for an 11-year-old.
It was an incredible amount of pressure, and we didn't get along. I didn't know how to raise kids. I was losing my shit all the time. I bullied some of my brothers. My younger brothers bullied some of each other. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So, like, I still have this feeling like I'm responsible for people, and maybe that's why I rise to have this perception that I'm like a main character, as that you're saying. But that's why it kills me,
I think that also is why you're such a dedicated dad.
A dedicated dad? Yeah, dude. I wanted to kill.
I can't even get you to move a single day to come rehearse. You know what I mean? You're like, nope, it'll be a couple years before then. It's like, and I couldn't even argue with you. I couldn't even be like, I was just like, honestly, I really admire that. If my parents would have given that much of a shit about me, I'd probably be farther in life. And I'm not saying I'm not doing well in life. I'm saying, like, I'd probably be even farther. You know what I mean? So, like, good on you, dude. Like,
thank you.
I think whatever this insecurity is, whether it's overcompensating or not, it's still producing a positive result at the end.
And I'm fine with that.
And maybe you need to stop being so hard on yourself, like you said to me earlier. Like, when I said, I need to be better. You're like, Jesus, Jared, calm down, bro. Maybe you need to take some of that same thing I said. I'm good at giving advice, but I don't apply my own advice. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to just lighten up on yourself, man. Maybe you need more people like me to fucking help build your ego back up a little bit. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, dude, because I really admire you. I got a lot of respect for you, dude, and it's truly genuine. Like, it's not an ass-kissing thing because you're on the podcast. I've told you this when we're hanging out in the backyard, just you and
dude.
like, I really love you, man. I think you're great. And especially, dude, your humor, your wit, and your intelligence, like, and you hold me accountable when I fucking say dumb shit. Like, you're like, oh yeah, guys like you and Bert. It's a perfect example. It's a perfect example.
Well, but it's also dumb. Like, I was implying that Bert was like some sort of philosophical genius, philosophical genius.
Oh, really? That's how I took it? You know how I took it was like
success.
Me putting myself in the same category as one of the best comedians ever.
That's what I was. Yeah, that was a joke I was trying to say. Yeah.
Well, it landed for
the
me.
Joke landed, yeah. But the funny thing about it was, like, it wasn't true because Bert he's a man-child. He
is in Arrested Development, isn't he?
Dude, he's positively abusive almost. Like, he doesn't, like, his family loves him. He loves his family.
Yeah.
And they have a wonderful, like, I'm a huge fan of Leanne.
That's actually why I put myself in a group with Bert all the time when it comes to that shit, because it's like, dude, like, the way Bert talks about Leanne is the way I feel about Kate. And I think I talk about Kate kind of in the same way.
I think so, you do.
I'm never dismissive. If I ever am, it's a bad joke that didn't land well. Because I'm never dismissive of her. The value she carries in my life is so, like...
Dude, no, you're right, because when you talk about her, it reminds me how Bert talks about Leanne.
Yeah, and I relate to that dude a lot. Like he loves to throw a party and host parties. I love to do that.
Have you ever watch his cooking show?
Yeah, dude.
It's for me.
It's my favorite cooking show.
I hate Two Bears One Cave. Like,
really?
They lost me years ago because just Tom became unbearable, and then he brought out the Bert stuff.
Is it the pores? Is it that part of Tom?
Yes, it's the airline thing. It's like that whole month of tweets he did. Dude, I can't get over it. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I get it.
But I
kind of love him more.
I miss YMH though. Like, when they were good, they're not good. I still watch every once in a while. It's still not good. But
isn't it interesting how these podcasts and comedians are almost turning into bands where they have a phase that you were into?
They're cyclical, yeah.
And it's like, I loved, like, for me, it's Metallica in the middle of their career. So for me, it's Master of Puppets, Justice, and the Black Album.
Yeah.
For me, that's Metallica. I'm not gonna dismiss Load. I'm not gonna dismiss Load or Reload because I actually love those, but they just weren't my favorite Metallica.
They're fucking rocking albums.
But some people are like, no, for me, it's Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, and after that they sold out. Right, and then other guys, it's like, no, for me, it's Master of Puppets and Justice, and after that, they sold out. And then, like Jesse Weber from the Failsafe, his whole thing is like, for me, Metallica was Load and Reload. Like, I went back to discover them later. Like, that's all I mean by that. But it seems like that is happening to podcasts. Yes, like podcasts, it is happening where people are like, yeah, I really liked him at the beginning, and I'm kind of starting to come back to him now. Dude. But they got weird, like Ian Klein from what is it?
H3, M3, M3, H2, M2,
I can't
whatever
even
it was.
Look at that guy anymore.
Dude, he's horrible.
That guy.
What happened to that dude?
I don't know, but did you see?
He was decent at one point.
He did that podcast with Oliver Tree. Yeah, and I fucking love this guy, Oliver Tree. So Oliver Tree's on there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, I love how fucking controversial he is and confrontational he is because I think we need more of this for entertainment and for authenticity. So he goes, because Ian's kind of giving him a hard time. And he goes, so Ethan, sorry. So Ethan's giving him a hard time and he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And Oliver Tree turns around and he goes, oh, yeah. You mean like when you had something good going on and then you stopped doing good things and you just started critiquing other people's shit? And it went back and forth, and Oliver goes, no, seriously, you used to make good shit, and then you stopped, and then you just started criticizing everyone else's shit. He's like, and that's why you fucking suck now, dude. And like Ethan's going, you know that weird facial thing, that like 17 blinks. I don't know.
Dude, but you know what? He was being a real bro right there. Yeah. That's his best friend. He doesn't even know it.
Right.
He's probably disrespected him and tried to cancel him and all that shit too.
Right. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Is just that real like musician, football, fucking like group activity. You know, you got a lot of whatever it is where it's like, no, dude, you don't get to do this thing. And it's like, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, we were this was a side trail talking about something beforehand. I had something to say. I'm a dope.
See, I gotta fucking be better, dude.
Do better.
No, I really do though. I'm getting excited again because we're back to podcasting, and I'm like, I want to talk and I want to hang out, and I gotta remember the first thing I learned when I did this all those years ago is I wrote myself a note to talk less on my controller because I talk too much, you know.
Dude, that was the first thing, and actually a pretty cool note. I mean, it shows progress, you know.
It's hard, dude. Like self-criticism is an interesting deal. Being able to criticize yourself without going too far is where I fail. So
you're not alone, buddy.
It's like I go dark though, and then I depress myself, and then I push myself into regression, and then I tortoiseshell up, and then I'm not doing anything. I'm just like you kind of said. What did you call it when you stop reaching out, you stop engaging?
It's an avoidant attachment.
Yeah, I definitely have.
Avoidant attachment style.
I definitely have that.
It's not a positive thing.
No, it's not.
Like, if you look it up, like, you know, prepare that ego again. It's not, you know, because I don't do things like, I don't reach out to my son when I should. Like, you know, I do things like that, and it's, you know, it bothers me that I'm not what I should be with him. I'm good with him. We have a good relationship. I love him. He's thriving. But it wasn't what I imagined when I was young.
What did you imagine?
Oh, it's difficult. You know, I was okay. So I'll get back to this and be like just real dead serious. But I was very, very suicidal as a child.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I don't want to really kill myself. I want to live life. There's so much cool things I want to see. I know my situation right now is going to end. Like, I'm going to be out of this house. I'm going to be gone. And you know what I want to do and I just like made a logical decision how I right the wrongs is I'm going to raise a good kid. I'm going to love a kid like I was never loved.
I think most of us do that. I think most of us
don't have kids, bro. You watch yourself.
No, but I think most of us take whatever we had go wrong in our childhood and we almost overcompensate.
Just grab a kid and love him.
No, like nah. Oh hell nah.
Okay. No, I know what you're saying. I'm not trying to derail it.
Just because I was bullied and emotionally abused, so I was physically and emotionally abused as a child, and so I learned, this was a few years ago, where it hit me, where I went, oh, and I think I was doing mushrooms. And I was like, oh, when I sense the slightest bit of bullying in any way, shape, or form, like I even just label it as negativity. I sense the slightest negativity. Dude, I have a reaction system. It's a survival mechanism.
Yeah, right. It is.
Where not only do I get aggressive, but I way overcome. And I've been doing this my whole life, and I've gotten nothing but better at it.
I hear you.
And I started getting better at it before I realized this was the thing.
Yeah.
But I just realized this was the thing just a handful of years ago. Like, oh, this is why I do these things. And it's funny too, because I give people shit being our age and still talking about childhood trauma. I'm like, listen, man, you're 40 years old. Get the fuck over it.
No, I know.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Because seriously, at this point in time, you're in what's called arrested development. Like, you're still a child because you haven't moved on. Like, I get it. I got childhood trauma, but I don't use it as a leverage. I don't leverage it as an excuse to justify my immature behavior or my inability to cope or mature.
Let me push back a little bit. I don't think so.
And I'm not saying I'm right in that, but that's just what my...
Sure, and I think people like me need to hear something like that. I never really had a solid man in my life that would be like, get your fucking shit together, and I needed that. So that helps. However, also when you're
that's not what I'm saying.
Developmentally, when you're in
I'm saying this to adults who are 40 now.
I'm getting to that.
I would never talk to a kid like that.
Understand, but yeah, I understand. But later on in life, when you're in your later 30s, psychologically, that's what you develop, and that's what comes up. It's a natural process at this age.
Right. And that's what I was saying I was doing. And that's my point, is like I had already started to move past it before I even realized that's what the issue was. And then as soon as I realized that's what the issue was, I was like, all right, well, we're gonna fix that. It was like, as soon as I realized that's what I was doing and that's what my problem was, that I was contributing to it, I went, okay, well, we're going to move past it. So now over the last like 6 months to a year, I get met with hostility, and I don't even need to do an exercise. I don't need to count to 10. I don't need to take 3 deep breaths. I just immediately go, okay, this guy's hurting. And now that I know this is how I normally would react, now I get to choose to react differently. And I'm not saying I do it perfectly every time.
Improve your community that way, because you can show them the love they need.
And I don't do it right every time.
Exactly. Same here. I
don't do it right every time. But now I can at least not contribute to a perpetual negative cycle.
Well, that's how you deal with it, and that's why when you get in fights with your bullies, you tend to get along and everything. Sometimes they realize, like, hey, this kid's just lashing out because he has an absent parent or something like that. Yeah.
Or he just doesn't.
My phone's getting blown.
Or he just doesn't know how to like resolve conflict. Well, like you said, double check and make sure there's not some crazy weird audio problem going on.
All right, I just don't want to spend a lot of time on it.
It looks good. We're good. Okay, they're personal stuff. Usually, I would get irritated with that. I'm just being honest, but I'm totally okay with it right now because like we're so fresh back into the podcast that I don't even know if I know how to run this thing anymore. I'm not going to waste more than a second
in that. Oh, don't worry.
So you got a new guitar. I saw your Facebook post. You were jamming earlier today.
I got 2 new ones.
And one of my favorite things you said in this post, I'm just also double checking. Sure nobody's saying shit. Sounds like Yoshi. What? Oh, never mind. My wife sent me something, and I was like, I thought she was saying she could hear the dogs barking through the dog. No, I thought she was saying she could hear the dogs barking through the podcast, and I thought she was saying it sounds like Yoshi's barking through.
Gotcha.
She was talking about different. Anyways, you said something in this Facebook post that I really liked, because I don't think enough musicians do this nowadays, specifically guitar players. I don't think, as a drummer, I don't think this is a drummer analogy. I don't think there's any analogy that can transfer to drummers. So drummers, feel free to check out and come back in 5 minutes. But you said it took me a while to get comfortable with her, but now she's a perfect guitar.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly what you meant because I'm natively a guitar player before a drummer.
It took me like 2 months.
Nothing changed with that guitar. You changed.
Well, I did put 80/20s on it instead of Foster Browns, so that was a big factor.
You changed. You learned how to play that guitar.
And how it responded with its resonance and everything. Yep.
Exactly. Talk about that and how much that matters if you weren't patient, wise, and experienced as a musician. Explain how a new guitar player would fuck up by getting rid of a great guitar instead of sticking with that. Because now you love this guitar, right?
Dude, that's very interesting. I actually haven't thought about that at all. So this is all a little bit fresh. Okay.
Yeah, talk about this while I'm gone.
Okay, so he's talking about Ferk acoustic guitar I just bought 2 months ago. I have my favorite guitar I own is a 1985 hand-built Japanese Yamaha 5LA, it's called. And it just absolutely sounds amazing. I've been struggling with the sound of it. Electronically, I put some electronics in it. I just can't get the thing to sound good through PAs. So I was looking for guitars, and I was looking at Taylors. I love Taylors. I love the Grand Classicals, I think they're called. I can't remember. But yeah, I saw these things, and I saw the reviews were head and shoulders above anything Taylor. So I just I just wung it and I bought one through Guitar Center, and it showed up and it was like super fucking beat up, and it had like a bunch of nail polish on it and stuff, but it sounded good. It played okay. The frets were trash. The tuners were trash. I mean, they had a warp in it. It was terrible shape, so I returned it and I gave it a shot, and I bought another one, and I found this just crazy good deal on a brand new one that was made less than a year ago. And I offered him like $500 or $600 less, and he took it. It shipped here, and I just couldn't. It didn't sound as good as the Yamaha. So I just sat and played with it for a bit. I let it sit. I tried like 6 different sets of strings on it, like 4 different gauges. I ended up settling on a pair of 9s.
Really?
With 80/20s, dude. But I can shred. Like, I can sweep on the thing. I can shred on it.
So I should explain to people why I just acted like that. So typically, you would never go that light.
You go like 12s.
So 9s. What he said for non-musicians, 9s are a gauge of strings. 9 is an extremely thin pair of strings that are very flimsy. If most guitar players, when they play 8s or 9s, they press too hard, so you start making notes too sharp.
That's a good point.
It's just not a good feel for most musicians playing guitar. So most musicians end up, if you're playing 9s, it's because it's a shorter scale usually. And scale is the length of the guitar, so it's literally a smaller guitar. Or you're playing like a Fender, where you're playing a shorter scale, or you're playing like a really light style of music where you need that kind of like that weird buttery grace where it takes 0 effort to do anything on the guitar. On fucking acoustics, nobody goes less than 10s. In fact, a lot of the like beefy guitar players end up going up to 11s or 12s.
12s are like standard 12s.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Nobody goes
I've had
below
13s
10s.
Yeah. I can't do.
Is it a shorter scale acoustic? Is it only like 21 frets or something?
No, it's full scale.
How'd you get away with 9s? Is it just you had to change your style?
It's just so well built. I mean, the truss rod in it is encased in a carbon rod too, so they're known for never ever going out of whack or anything like that. So it's so sturdy that no matter the string you put on it, the intonation stays. It's crazy. So that's part of why I ended up keeping it, is because I got laid off. I got laid off maybe 3 weeks ago, I want to say, 4 weeks, something like that. And I just kept on my. I have all my guitars sitting out, my favorite ones. I have a bunch of favorite ones. But I just sat and played with it until I liked it. I mean, so what did it? My youngest brother Mitch is just a complete phenom when it comes to acoustic playing. He's like Andy McKee level. He's incredible. Like, I could show you stuff. It gives you goosebumps. It's that good.
Wow.
And he came over for a UFC event.
You guys had a project together a while back.
Yeah, we did, but it failed. I take projects too seriously. He takes them too lightly, so it just didn't work out. It is what it is. Yeah, I still perform with him. I still record with him. All that shit, and we'll probably get there. We'll probably do it again. Yeah. I mean, he's too freaking good. The world needs to hear his music. I mean, he hardly has any music out there. He's
the 30, most talented of us are always like that.
Yeah, I know.
That's why when people are like,
I just to egg him on, like I do.
That's why when people are like, I do it just because I love music. I'm like, ugh. I roll my eyes at this point. At my age, I roll my eyes. I'm like, ugh. Fucking waste of talent.
You sound like fucking Patrice O'Neill right there. Ugh. Just his whole his dismissive.
It's just a waste of talent.
Just look at you.
I didn't mean like that, but that's a good point. I did come off like that though.
He's incredible.
That's not how I meant it, but that's what we were talking about earlier. Like I come off the wrong way because that's not how I meant it, but that's definitely how it sounded, bro. You're right,
dude. So like he came over for a UFC event, and another one of my brothers and my girlfriend and one of her friends and my son was there, and we're just all hanging out, and I was like, bro, check this thing out. And I just wanted to see what he thought about it, and he liked it, and he kind of was, whatever with it. He started playing it, and like the girls are like getting goosebumps, and I'm just like, and we're watching a fight, MMA fight, and I was like, damn, I can make it sound like that too.
Yeah.
So I kept playing it, and kept fucking with it, and I just one day it just fucking clicked, and I played for like, probably like 8 hours.
Wow.
Like standing up, like headbanging and stuff, like playing metal and everything, plugging it in and out. For some reason, I clicked with it. That's happened with several guitars of mine, yeah. That. My two main electrics are my all-time favorites as well.
What do you look for when you're trying to get a new guitar? And I look at guitars like tools in the toolbox.
Christ, dude.
So I have like the Les Paul, right? I've got the 7-string. I've got different guitars for different sounds for different deals.
Those Agiles, yeah.
That's I got to get new electronics in that, but that's a shockingly well-built guitar.
They are, but the electronics do suck in them. Mine suck too. I put some bare knuckles in mine.
Shit.
They do sound like shit. Yeah, they sound like a fucking single coil Strat. I don't know what's up with them.
So I'll tell you, I know enough about guitars to speak on this. So most of it is the wood quality. It's a very hollow wood,
plywood
with particle board with too much resonance. Like usually when you like strum, like
they're fucking light as shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So light,
and there's this, they vibrate too much. So you almost like what I'm thinking, and I'm not an electronics engineer, but my instinct says what we need to do is surround the pickups with like literally foam. Because there's too much reverberation, there's too much sound going on in and around those
pickups. This? How about you take it a different aspect and you try to control the vibration of the wood, like drill some holes in it and maybe like epoxy some sinkers in it, like fishing sinkers.
Maybe, yeah.
That might do
it. Add some density to it, something that's going to move those. You
can epoxy a spring in there.
Dude, there's a lot of things you could do, man. I think at the end of the day, that has EMGs in it. So, no, it doesn't. Those aren't EMGs. But you could put EMGs in it, and I still don't think it would sound right because I do believe in wiring. I do believe in capacitors and transistors. Just because I worked with a bunch of gearheads.
No, agreed.
And I listened to the guitars, and I got a real good ear for this shit.
Yeah.
When you swap out real high-end electronics, and it's not just the pickups, homeboys. Okay, it's everything. It's the pots, the wiring, the transistors, the capacitors, everything.
Yep.
The pots, everything.
100%. And it's like that with amps.
Sounds
with
really
amps
nice.
too. Like if you brought that 5150 to Casey Gooby and had a hot rod it.
That one's already been worked on.
Okay.
Yeah. That one rips, dude.
That dude fucking. He's a guy. Have you ever met him?
Who is he?
Casey Gooby. He's like the local.
I know that name.
He's like the local gearhead guru.
Does he work at Metro?
He has contracts with like every music store around here. So if you drop stuff up, he picks it up. But he lives down in like Bloomington or something like that.
I forget his name now. I thought his name was Casey, but I don't think it. Maybe it is. I don't know.
The guy looks like Christopher. He looks like Superman. He has the most chiseled jaw I've ever seen in my life. And dude, it's like he's like the Giga Chad. For real. It's funny, and he's super nice, and he's super affordable. I've had him do work on my Mesas and my Diesel, and
I had the dude at Metro do mine. He doesn't even work at Metro. He just operates out of Metro. But that's what he does. Is he like, you need your amp retubed, you need a pot fixed.
I wouldn't doubt if that's him. I mean, he does. He does Twin Town. He does most of the major places.
Super affordable, super reasonable, does good work.
Super reasonable, and if you find him, you can go directly through him. You can avoid the shipping costs, him delivery costs, the tax for going through different business, all that stuff. Dude, it cost me less than $100 for him to go through my Mark III, my Blue Stripe.
This is on topic, but it's a diversion. What? I've been caught up because I'm opinionated. I've been caught up in because people don't fucking listen. They don't understand what I'm saying out loud, even though I'm very fucking clear and I repeat myself over and over again. This is part of the reason I talk so fucking much, because people don't fucking listen.
I'm in.
Tube versus solid state versus modeling amp. They go, which one's better? And my answer has always been, do you know how to make it sound good? Chad Haslitten from Banehinge had fucking solid state Marshalls. Some of the best guitar tone I've ever heard in my fucking life.
That was a good band.
I could never get those amps to sound that good.
That was a good band.
He knows tone. I can make this fucking PV5150 sing like absolute orgasmic butter. Not everybody knows how to dial in tube amps. And then they go, well, what about modeling amps?
Orgasmic
I'm like,
butter.
Yeah, I said it. I did.
Is that Santorum?
I don't know what I was trying to describe, bro. I don't know what was going through my head.
I mean, butter wasn't good enough. Butter's good, so like orgasmic butter sounds great. I mean, unless it's like residue or something.
I was trying to make it sound better, but I don't know what I was trying to make it sound like.
Hope it's not orgasmic residue. But someone else's.
But really, seriously, like I can dial in tube amps. I know tube amps. I know how to make tube amps sound great. I can't make solid state amps sound great. I can make them sound okay. And then same thing with the modeling amps.
I'm not going to pretend solid state,
but do you agree that like? And I guess this is a better way to approach this question. Is here's what pissed me off, and here's why I'm like not willing to let go of. My old guitar player Dalton would argue with me about this, and you go, Jared, the listeners, they don't know the difference. And I lose my mind, because here's what my analogy is. That's like saying, when I watch a movie, I don't know if it sucks or not. Okay, no. That movie sucked. I may not be able to break down the cinematography. I may not be able to. I didn't like the camera angles. The writing was bad character arc. The cinematography was shitty.
Okay. Yeah.
I may not be able to do that, but I can still be like, nah, I just didn't like the movie. That's what most music listeners are. Most music listeners, yes, they're not going to be like, well, it sounds like shit. They don't even know that much. They're just going to simply say, I don't like it. Now, a music fan, like a real fan, will be like, it doesn't sound good. Like the sound quality is off. Yeah. A musician will be like, oh, well, they're using shitty tone. Like their tone sucks, right? And then a tone head would be like, oh, well, they're using a weird amp with a weird microphone, and they let it sit in phase.
Open cabinet, right. All this crazy shit.
So when somebody like Dalton tells me it doesn't matter because nobody knows the difference, I'm saying you're insulting everybody that thinks it matters and every listener who doesn't know better, and they can't because they're not on your level. I just think it's a very arrogant and lazy way to approach making a band sound great, because your tone and your equipment absolutely fucking matter. I'm not saying you have to have a tube amp, you have to have a solid state, you just need to know how to make that sound good objectively, not subjectively. Objectively. If you can pull a Banehinge, or you can pull a fucking Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy's they were all tube. No, I'm using them as opposite. So Banehinge, solid state. Uncle Daddy was all tube. Derek Grant just got a modeling amp, one of those Kempers. So now he's like in between. It doesn't matter if you sound good, but you need to understand your tone and what the rest of the world hears. So, for example, in my applicable situation, my drum set sounds like absolute dog shit if I just sit down and play it as is right now. But once the entire band gets playing, everyone's like, God damn, your drum set sounds good. Then once you hook us up to a PA and fill a room, people are like, those are the best sounding drums I've ever heard. What do you do? And I go, I tune them to sound like shit. And everyone goes, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, no, you're just not listening.
I got two thoughts here, actually. I actually don't agree with you, but because I feel like I want to control my tone subjectively, and I don't give a fuck what they think about it. Like this is my what I've worked on my whole life. However, I do hear you regarding your tone versus the drums. So this guitar I bought, what I had a hard time getting to know it. It's a Sitka spruce top.
Sure.
And yeah. I don't like them. I'm a finger
very bright.
I'm a very
punchy, very bright.
Very, very bright. That thing is extremely bright. It hardly has any bass.
Right. It probably doesn't have, and that's probably because it doesn't have a mahogany back or side, does it?
Right, it's rosewood.
Right? Oh, rosewood. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
By the way, dude, I should have brought this thing. By the way, it's AAA grade wood on it. Thing, it's incredible. That spruce top, it like glistens, like it's full of like diamonds. It's the most incredible top I've ever seen in my life, and you can, it's incredible. It's such a crazy good guitar, but I like cedar top guitars. I like
very
playing
warm.
Yeah, yep. I'm a big fan of those.
Really takes off those like 8K frequencies off the top, so you just get that beautiful like mid-range to
soft,
like lower
gorgeous,
high.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of cedar top guitars too.
I am too. So and I think different instruments and different live settings and whatever is the big deciding factor there. And with my new band, I've only had two practices.
To tie this in for listeners who have no idea what the fuck, because we're getting very inside baseball here. Basically, what we're talking about is like when you're getting an acoustic guitar, it may sound good when you're by yourself playing, but then when you start playing with a group of musicians, suddenly you can't hear yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cedar guitar is that guitar.
Are always fighting for air for you to be heard, and everything needs to be cut.
Yep. And so cedar guitars cedar guitars sound great by ourselves, but cedar guitars do not cut through a good mix when it comes to the whole band because they're missing. But when they're by themselves,
the high-end boost,
when they're by themselves, though, it's the same thing that annoys you and I. It's too bright, it's too punchy, it's too in your face. I need something with more subtlety. But in a live setting, when you have a bass guitar and another guitar and
the
a
bass
drums,
out a cedar top,
I need that
instantly.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm trying to explain to these guys. Exactly.
Perfect. Yep.
Yep. Especially if you're a female vocalist, the cedar top guitar is going to give your female vocal range in that 8K range.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you're not fighting that frequency anymore.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. Yeah.
That's a very good point. Everything depends on applications, and that's what my real opinion is that's why I have all these guitars. That's why I have multiple my literal example in this room is not the best example to use, but that's why you would have different amps. That's why you would have multiple guitars, multiple amps, because there is no such thing as a Swiss Army knife for music. These are hammers. I don't use a framing hammer when I'm doing metal work. I don't use a ball peen hammer.
Fucking guy's full of analogies.
You see what I'm saying though? Like,
no,
they're
you're
fucking
right.
tools,
dude,
bro.
You're dead nuts on.
Treat it correctly.
You're dead nuts on.
I just don't like the loyalty argument. This side or that, Strat or Telly, fucking Fender or Gibson. Dude, they're all fucking hammers, bro. Like, I want them all.
Dude, so
I want them all. Collect them all, bro. Let's play Pokemon.
My other big hobby is to build hot rods, and that's the same thing in that world. Like, people are they're so polarizing.
That's a great
one-dimensional. Like Ford, Chevy, Dodge, whatever. It's like they're all kind of beautiful creations in their own right. I mean, they're marvels of engineering is what it is, and like, why not celebrate all of them?
1980s Mustangs, dog shit. But it doesn't mean all Mustangs are dog shit.
No, or even those ones, because you can build them to be fucking ass cars.
But remember the IROC?
They are.
Remember when the IROCs?
I had an IROC.
They were such a joke.
Dude,
they were cool, but like it wasn't a Mustang. Let's just be honest. It was a fucking.
It was slow.
It was a CRX. It was like the Honda CRX got really popular.
It was like a Caprice. It was a normal car.
Right, but that's my point. Is like the fucking Honda CRX got really fucking popular because of street racing shit. Remember the CRX way back in the day?
Yep.
It was a hatchback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the IROC wanted to like shorten and fatten.
He called them disposable cars.
Yeah. Kia got born of that. That's where Kia got born, was that phrase, disposable cars.
Yeah, because when they first came out, it was like $9,000 for a brand new car. For like 0% financing for like 6 years or something.
But they started off as like a supplemental car company for, I think, Honda.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just went down this rabbit hole like a couple weeks ago.
It might have been Hyundai, because they're South Korean like Hyundai is.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah. I've owned over 50 cars. I'm super.
Are you more into music / guitars, or are you more into driving / vehicle? Because I say vehicles because you bought that fucking insane truck.
Dude, that thing's so sick. I love that, dude. I love that thing. So, but I get in trouble, dude. Like, I got in a race with someone back from practice last night, and I was doing like 120 on fucking 94. I'm like, I can't be that asshole, you know? I can't be that guy. Like, you know, my granny could be driving next to some dude, for a woman, you know, have a heart attack or something like that. And I'm, you know, sometimes I'm that guy. Not good.
Isn't it weird how you become more conscious of those type of things as you get older?
Yeah, my younger brother made me conscious of it because he was riding with one of his lady friends at one point, and she had a really bad temper, and she literally got behind my grandma and started screaming out the window, hurry the fuck up and everything. And my brother's like, hey, you know, you fucking shut the fuck up. I mean, he's not a nice person, women, so I don't know how far he took it, but
my old singer,
you have a lighter.
I'm not the biggest fan of my old singer. We're becoming more amicable. We're talking again.
You've talked about this on the podcast?
I used to outwardly say fuck John Donne.
Holy shit. Who's that?
That's my old singer. But anyways, we're starting to repair things. We're starting to become more amicable. But dude, he used to have the best, and I mean the best, random one-liner. And it's that same thing where it's like, in the right situation, it's great. In the wrong situation, you just rubbed everyone the wrong way. So you would be saying something random that is loosely, and I mean loosely, attached to women. Yeah. And you just be like making some random comment, no real criticism. Like, you're just conversation, and like maybe like you say, oh, it's like watching a female slam dunk contest, right? And John would come out of nowhere and just be like, why do you hate women? Seriously? Yeah, but he wasn't serious. He would say it seriously, but he wasn't serious. Like, it was an absolute joke, but he would say it seriously, which is what made it super fucking funny. And every time he would do it, I would die fucking laughing, dude. And he would say it at the most inappropriate to, like, as soon as you just even hinted at women, he'd just be like, why do you hate women? Because he was also, and this is why I gotta give him respect, as much as he rubs me the wrong way and is wronged me, he was way ahead of his time. So I remember in 2012 him warning and talking about what we now refer to as progressives, the far left, intersectionalism, diversity, equity, and inclusion. He was actually warning people about this in 2012, and he's like, they're already dealing with this shit in Europe. It's a complete fucking nonsensical bunch of fucking BS.
You know, and sounds like he was right.
And he was fucking right, because even like I blew him off. Even I was like, sounds like you're a little paranoid. You know, this is no,
I
meant it the other way. I meant it the other way. Like, if I'm gonna blow you off about something like that, like, you have to sound crazy, because I'm open to everything. Like, I'll hear everybody out. Give me your crazy, weird, extremist idea about flat Earth. I'll hear you out, right? And that's the point, is then when I say even I think he's crazy, that means like there's something seriously off with that person.
But like, seriously, like when you look on the horizon, you can see how flat it is, you know. You can just see it.
You're right. You're right. You can see how flat it is, bro. That is true.
Dude, some of the arguments they have, it's so fucking funny.
I think you asked me one time, you were the only one I can't figure out is flight paths. This was like 5-6 years ago.
Oh, God.
And I figured out the flight path thing, because I have pilots in the
I don't remember that conversation.
So the idea is that when you look at these flight paths on a flat map, it looks like they're... So if you go from Hong Kong to LA, the path is here, and you need to take an emergency detour halfway through. Why wouldn't you go to Hawaii? Why would you go all the way up to Alaska? But that's because you have to look at it on the side of a globe. So... And the fastest,
and you have to factor in like jet stream stuff too.
It's less jet streams. It's more about the fact that it's a fucking sphere. So you look at, like, you're looking at the side of a basketball. Distance. So you're not, the fastest route is not to go away from the globe way out here in a straight line. Okay, because you have to compensate for the curvature of the Earth. The fastest line is to actually.
Let's get not too far. The curvature of the Earth.
The fastest line is to actually go like this over the curvature of the Earth, which is still a straight line, but Alaska's right here, Hawaii's way down.
Sure.
Because the ball is the fattest in the equator. So you don't go this way from Hong Kong to LA. That would not be fastest. What would be fastest is going this way, which puts Alaska way up here.
That's assuming
you have to look at it on an actual globe, and then you have to also imagine that there's air, because so people just try to draw a line on the water, and it's like that's not how you fly. You would actually have to go 500 feet, right? Or 5,000, 5 to 10,000 feet off the ground, which would put you way out here, and then circumnavigating the Earth. It's not the fastest. The fastest is actually this route.
This is
why I get frustrated with stupid people with strong opinions.
Wait, hold on. This is assuming globes are real.
You're not stupid.
This is assuming globes are real.
I'm talking about you.
You didn't hear me, did you?
I did.
I was trying to be stupid.
Space is fake.
They the funny thing about it, they'll believe the sun is round or something like that, but the Earth is just this flat thing. It's a Dorito.
My favorite one was when Elon Musk asked that online, and he goes, "So how come there's no flat Mars Society?" And they go, and these people go, unlike the Flat Earth Society, the official Twitter. This is before he bought it. Said, unlike Earth, Mars has officially been observed to be round.
Dude. Would you talk about Elon Musk, how polarizing he is?
I love him.
I'm not a fanboy, but I think the people that are against him, they have the same thing that the people against Trump are. The TDS, they will hate him.
The TDS, what is the TDS?
Trump derangement syndrome.
Sure, yeah, that's real. That's a real thing.
It is real.
By the way, the other side also has it, just so people don't think I'm a crazy fucking right winger, because I don't want to come off like that.
Dittos.
I fairly criticize both sides, not because I think both sides have good ideas, because I think both sides are horrible at this point. They've gone too far. But you were right. Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. Same thing with Biden, right? So every time Biden has a gaffe,
or even Michelle Obama, even at Big Mike,
every time Biden has a gaffe,
man, don't be hating on Big Mike like that.
People don't know what Big Mike is. People don't know what Big Mike is. You and I know what Big Mike is.
They just gotta Google Big Mike and they'll have a good laugh. Well, I mean, they might take us seriously.
But every time Biden has a gaffe, they just go, "Oh, see, incompetence." And it's like, dude, every president misspeaks. Not every single.
Every president stumbles with their words, fumbles them, walks tiny pace, falls over all the time, has other people make their decisions. All of them do it. I mean, all of them do it.
Can't make it up the steps. Doesn't know their way into the White House. They all do it. You guys.
Yeah. I'm not.
No, you got me.
I agree. I'm not a fan of either. And I want to make that very clear.
But Trump derangement syndrome is real. And I think you're right. Elon is suffering something similar. And it just shows how he can be the darling of the left, make electric cars and save the planet, and be the smartest guy on the earth. And then he does one thing that doesn't align with the left, and now he's a white supremacist.
Yes, agreed. And he needs to pay his fucking fair share in taxes. Derp, derp, derp. Regardless of being the person that's paid the most in taxes of any human to ever exist.
You could tax.
I mean, you could probably
every single billionaire at 100%, and it wouldn't put a dent in the American debt. So we don't have a tax problem.
How does that work?
We're trillions of dollars in debt. You could take all the billionaires' money.
Yes.
You could take 100% of all the billionaires' money, and it still wouldn't knock off 1 trillion, because there's not that many billionaires.
The debt seems to be perpetual.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm getting at, is that we don't have a tax problem. We have a spending problem with our government.
Because you can't have enough money to pay off money that is on interest.
Nailed it.
You'll never have it. It's mathematically impossible.
And you also said they're already paying the most in taxes.
It's true. I mean, maybe the rate isn't as good, and they have complaints about that, and that's fine. But
here's the other thing: he also doesn't really have $800 billion.
No, it's assets. It's assets.
It's net worth, which means it's locked up in things like
assets,
stocks. He doesn't even own a lot of assets. He sold everything. Remember?
Yeah. So but the thing is,
He owns one of the best companies in the world. That's why he's worth so much. It's
like six
stocks.
of them. Yeah.
It's stocks. Like,
the thing is,
people just don't understand what they're talking about, Ian.
No, I agree because I mean, you have capital gains, you have to factor in that too. So like, he's actually worth whatever 40 something, whatever 30 something percent less than he is if he actually cashed out.
Right.
They're being intellectually dishonest. That's my only problem with it. Yeah, criticize rich people. I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to stick up for rich people, but let's be sensible here. Let's be logical.
It does feel like some of the corporations are like gutting us.
Corporations, yeah, like entities, like superorganisms. So you ever read any Chris Ryan books? He wrote that one called Civilized to Death, and he talks about how our just evolvement into civilization and more advancement has resulted into less personal connection, and it's allowed superorganisms as corporations to thrive and be the kind of like the main profit centers, the main focal point of life at this point.
Yeah,
and it's true.
Yeah,
the corporations must succeed because we have thousands of people are working for this one, that one. They got to meet shareholder demand. I mean, they have to meet so much stuff that they become the focal point of humanity moving forward, and they're dictating how we are evolving from this point on. And that's fucked up. That's a travesty.
Especially because the fact that they don't have any morals or principles.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pandering when they're dictating. That's my problem. So when they do what you just described, but they don't have their own. So like, for example, let's pretend
it's all for more profits. All of it is. It's all manipulation for more profits.
Do you remember in Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone how Taco Bell was the only restaurant left?
It depends on the version you're watching. Sometimes it was Pizza Hut.
I swear to God, it was Taco Bell.
They changed it in all the different versions. They went through all the franchises associated with all the border foods. Yeah, they changed it. So there's a bunch of different versions. Some
are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
I did not know this. See, if we have a producer, this is the moment where he's typing in Demolition Man fast food variation montage, and we're pulling up, and I have to see this in real time. I'm not going to look it up because I don't like busting out the keyboard. But I'm going to have to look at this now, and I'm going to have to. Wow.
It's funny because like they overdubbed them like 10 years after the fact to do a bunch of them.
Wow.
So they like the overdubs from Sylvester Stallone and what's her face,
Sandra Bullock. Yeah,
Sandra Bullock. Like they're just like when they went out to eat. Thank God I was hungry. All that.
Wow.
All that shit. Yeah, and it'll show him bringing out like a single chip or whatever it is, and it'll say it's Pizza Hut.
Dude, okay.
All restaurants are Pizza Hut.
I gotta finish this thought, and then remind me of the Demolition Man thing, and then remind me Demolition Man Rogan, and that'll give me the next thing. So my point is that
I feel like I should be paid to be your producer.
Let's pretend for a second though that it was Chick-fil-A. Okay. Now, whether you agree with their principles or not is irrelevant in this analogy. My point is if Chick-fil-A...
Gay jokes incoming.
If Chick-fil-A did become that proverbial fast food in that Demolition Man, right? Like, they actually have a principle. Like, they're a Christian company, right?
Dick feels gay.
We're not open on Sundays. Dicks are gay, right? Like, you could...
Can I go bathroom here?
Yeah. Just keep going. They have principles, right? So, like, they could potentially drive society based on their own principles. Right or wrong is irrelevant. My problem is what you were describing with these other corporations that do the exact same thing, but they don't have any principles. So what they're doing is they're just pandering to whatever's popular at the time. Meaning it's mob mentality, meaning that's not a good way to allow anybody to dictate society going forward. So it's not even about whether you have a good idea or a bad idea. It's whether you're acting on your principles or whether you're pandering. And why I keep saying pandering is because that's what the corporations do, because the corporations are just trying to make money. So whatever's popular at that time, that's what these corporations are going to try to market themselves towards, because they're going to pander to whatever they think is going to make you. And pandering used to be like basically a political sin. Like if you were busted or accused of pandering as a politician, you were basically done. You lacked integrity and you were just telling people what they wanted to hear. Nowadays you can tell people you're pandering and you're applauded for it. It's the most bizarre thing I've fucking ever seen in my life.
That's a good point.
That's real. That's fucking real, dude.
It is real. Yeah, it is real.
Bro.
Israel. It is real.
I mean,
anyway, I'm sorry.
we can talk about that too, because people have accused me of not picking sides on that. And here's the thing: is my opinion is very, very clear. There are no good guys in war. There are no good guys in war. Like, everybody's a bad guy. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, you've probably never been punched in the mouth. You've probably never plotted vengeance. You've probably never searched your soul as, am I about to do something that will forever change my life and my character? Because if you've been in real violence and plotted real revenge, there's a moment where you go, I don't give a fuck anymore. Everybody is going to die. And then, or you can come back to where the rest of us live and you go, I understand I've been dealt a great harm, but if I do this, it will only get worse. And neither side has done that. And to pick a side in the Israel-Hamas-Palestine argument is to try to choose sides between the Hatfields and the McCoys. This is 1,000-year-old controversy.
I hate that band.
It's 1,000. I hate that singer, man. Metallica sucks.
Hey, Hitler. What a dick.
For real, though, it goes back so far to try to pick a side on that issue is not only naive,
I know.
but it's dismissive of your ability to put yourself in either situation. Because here's the thing, dude, is if I'm Hamas, yeah, I'm probably a terrorist. Bottom line. If I'm born in Palestine, I'm probably a terrorist. Knowing me and my constitution and my principles, right? Yeah. But if I'm in Israel and October 6th happens, or October 7th, whatever it was, yeah, I'm saying fucking bomb the whole country. Right? The only reason we get to be all self-righteous and pick a side is because we live in the privilege of the bird's eye perspective, which is not a fair thing to do during a war. There's a cliche called the fog of war for a reason. Mind your fucking business. Because trust me, Israel doesn't give a fuck that you are sitting on your college campus calling for a peace, a ceasefire. They don't care about you. Would we care if they're in France protesting whether we fucking declare war on Japan post World War or post Pearl Harbor? No. Why would we give a fuck what France thinks? France wasn't involved. No, we got attacked. Go fuck yourself. Mind your own fucking bit. And here's why I can say this with such volition. We literally did this after 9/11. Most of the civilized world did not back us going into Iraq. And actual American citizens were like, fuck them. We don't answer to the rest of the world. Fuck the United... No, we actually said this.
I know.
Fuck the United Nations. Fuck France. Fuck Europe. Fuck the rest of the world. We're building a coalition of the willing, and you're either with us or you're against us. And we just simply did what we wanted to do. Now Israel's going to do it, and you're going to sit here and be like, yeah, but we shouldn't. Fucking shut up.
What about Ukraine? Let's go.
Same thing. Same fucking thing. Same fucking thing. Yeah, I have an opinion, dude, but guess what?
You're going to eat it up, dude. We're going to
they're
the
not
depths,
listening.
baby.
I can have my opinion, but they're not listening. You think people in Ukraine or Russia give a fuck what we talk about on a podcast or on a CNN in America? No.
Absolutely.
We don't exist to them. It's fucking war, bro.
They're tuning in, baby.
And here's the most moral thing that people need to understand about this deal. All is fair in love, and war is also a cliche for a fucking reason. Because you don't understand what real war is like. You don't understand what real war is like, dude. These people are willing to rape and kill. What are you going to do? You gonna be a pacifist? Are you Jesus? You're going to turn the other fucking cheek? Are you kidding me? I'm not Jesus, and neither are you. No, we're going to fucking war. And this idea that, like, it needs to be a proportional response, like, that sounds fair and good when you're living in your privileged fucking New York apartment. But when you're the
with
one
with your flaying
responsible,
Facebook profile,
when you're the one responsible for sending Israel, because this is the idea, right? You got to quit carpet bombing Hamas. You got to quit carpet bombing Gaza and Palestine. What you need to do. And it's like, dude, you guys watch too many movies, because the reality is somebody's life and job is on the line. If they send Israelis covertly, quote unquote, into Palestine to try to do this thing, and all those guys get killed, you're the idiot who just got a bunch of Israelis killed. Now you're the guy who we don't want in office anymore. So it's really easy to be a Monday morning quarterback and go, I would have done this, I would have done that, I would have done this. But here's the difference. Ian. I am an expert at football. So I'm not doing a Monday morning quarterback. I'm doing a real-time quarterback during the game, going, make this play, make this call, don't do that, don't do this. If you do this, here's how it goes bad. And then my wife watches it every time and she goes, God damn it, you should have gotten into coaching. Because every time you do this, you're fucking right. And it's because I'm doing it in real time. What I don't do is what rubes do. They sit on Monday morning and now they have all the fucking answers. Because it's really easy to do all these things when you're not the one actually in battle. Mike Tyson had a perfect phrase. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. That is the epitome of what we're talking about. So if you haven't been to war, fine. But my problem is when you haven't been in a real fight. You've never been physically punched in the face. You've never lost a fight. You've never been pinned down by a larger man and been in fear of your life. You've never had to actually make these decisions. You've never confronted where it's just you being confronted by 30 young children and maybe 10 of them have guns and you're all alone. You do not understand what you're talking about. And I'm not talking about you. When I say you, I'm not talking about you, Ian. I'm talking about the proverbial you. Because there's way too many people who are not only not educated, but they're fucking dumb and they have super strong opinions. And that's going to be my final statement to this rant. And I made a Facebook post about this a month ago. Okay. My biggest problem in the last year is stupid people with strong opinions. It is
it's not the first time this has happened.
Nuts. And you're not a sports guy, but the latest example is they go, oh, so you're okay with Harrison Butler saying horrible things about women, but when Colin Kaepernick did it, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. That guy said that off the field, off season, when he wasn't anywhere involved with the Chiefs. He just said it at a private conference. That other guy did it on the field during a football game. This is apples and oranges. And I actually supported the dude who did the thing on the field.
They're both fruits.
But to compare these two is you guys are idiots. They are both fruits in this scenario. They are both fruits. I actually do that a lot.
I mean, apples and oranges are.
I do that a lot, though. I do that. People go, it's apples and oranges. And I go, yeah, but they're still both fruits.
You know, so
like it's still the same thing. Yeah, it's apples and oranges, but we're still talking about citrus here.
If we could
I actually make that argument.
If we could bring it back to psychology, I found something out that was really interesting in that book I was talking about, the Christopher Ryan book. He's a some sort of evolutionary biologist, something like that. I want to get it right. I can't remember, but anyways, he was talking about how the development of psychopaths happened. I was just talking with a friend about this the other day. Is they were actually necessary throughout history to commit atrocities, commit acts of war, and it's actually been proven throughout history that real alphas in those groups weren't the big, strong psychopaths. They were the smart, intelligent leaders that could manipulate people. Yeah.
That's super interesting because I got in
it's interesting.
I got in a conversation with a buddy of mine back in the day when I was talking about alpha males and shit, because I am an alpha. It's kind of like a main character.
I'm levels above you. I'm like a sigma.
I hate that sigma shit. I hate that sigma shit so much.
With the song playing in the background?
Sigma's not a thing. Sigma's not a thing. Y'all just made that up because you're not brave enough to be alphas. Y'all can't just make shit up. Like, stop. There's no sigma chimps. There's no sigma chimps. There's no sigma wolf. No, there's no sigma dogs. No, like the whole
sigma male.
So my homie Kevin was like, well, when I hear alpha and the way alpha is used is we're talking about the biggest, most physical dog, right? It's an animal kingdom thing. Here's the irony. That's not true. When we're describing alpha males in human society, and I'm going to stop there and then finish the explanation with chimps, because we just found this out, but this is how we have used alpha for 100 years. just recently, if you watched that Netflix Chimp Nation or whatever it's called.
Obviously scripted.
That guy who went on Rogan, though,
they fucking paid those chimps off.
But when that guy went on Rogan and described those chimps, he goes, the alpha male is not the biggest or the strongest. It's the one who's the best at maintaining relationships.
Ooh.
And that for me, that was a light bulb moment, because that's what I was trying to describe to Kevin, because I go, listen to me, dude. Tom Brady is the alpha of alphas for the New England Patriots. But he is not the most physically commanding. He's literally the least athletic dude on that team. Like, anybody on the Patriots could beat him to death, but he still leads it, right? And here's the point. All 53 guys on an NFL roster are alpha males, but the quarterback is the alpha of the alphas. And he's not even the most physical guy there. But then it hit me when this guy said it about the chimps. It's because the quarterback is the one who's the most able to maintain relationships with his teammates and hold them accountable and make them better.
So he's like alpha squared.
There you go. That's a great way to say it. That's alpha squared. It's alpha squared. That's what it is. Because at the end of the day, it's the alpha of alphas, and it has nothing to do with your physical abilities to beat other people to death. It is literally your ability to maintain relationships, lead, be poised, all those other intangible things that really matter for the pack's survival.
They found that with deer and elk as well.
My female dog is the alpha of our entire troop. The mom,
the uncut
Peanut.
one.
No, Peanut. The uncut one is the boy. He's not the alpha.
I mean the one that my dog's sniffing.
Yeah,
he's
the fresh, not the alpha.
The raw stuff. The raw stuff.
Yeah, he's not the alpha. His mom is the alpha. The old bitch.
my dog's not gay. Don't say that. You know what I'm talking about.
But even out
I am raised no gay dog.
Even out of my dog's pack. Of the dogs, the biggest, strongest male isn't the alpha. It's the mom. The mama bear's the alpha.
Well, actually, in my hometown up in Hibbing, women by far are the alphas up there.
That's a great example. That's a great example. In America.
Most small town America. I mean, look at Honey Boo Boo. I mean, that's a fucking alpha bitch.
No, but seriously, like, happy wife, happy life.
For real it is.
They don't say that in Europe.
They can torment you. They can take you for all your money if they want.
But in Europe, they don't say happy wife, happy life. That's an American thing.
Right, because it's in English.
You fuck.
Stupid ass joke.
That was a good one, though. I liked it.
Sorry, I'm in joke mode now. I'm just not going to stop.
We should try some stand up.
Dude, I would do a stand. My girlfriend and I, we went to Sisyphus a couple months ago.
Great.
Dude, Thursday nights they do the open mic. Yep. And the open micers there, dude, they're better than anything you'd hear anywhere else. They're so freaking good.
Yep, just talking to Rudy on the last podcast about that room. That room, Thursday nights, it's
electric.
It's actually, so I got to be careful how I say this because I'm not a comedian. It's such a good room. It's actually a bad room because open micers and good comedians will go there testing new material. It'll kill. They'll think it's good material. And then they'll go bomb with it other places.
Oh, because the room is
it's
good.
So generous. It's such a generous group of people. They go there looking for new comedy and wanting to laugh at new comedy.
I don't know, man. The times I've been there, the comedians were I don't fall for that shit. I don't. I'm the guy screaming for. I'm the guy screaming for a band that no one's screaming for. Or the other way around.
That's the point, and that's why Sisyphus works for you. So that's the point. Is when you go to Acme, when you go to House of Comedy, they're not as forgiving. They need you to be on your shit. Not at the beginning. Not at the beginning.
I have probably about 35, 40 minutes worth of jokes I can do. I mean, they're all written down, and they're stupidest. Dude, they're so stupid.
So I actually was talking to Rudy about this, and I, without knowing this, developed not just like a handful of bits, but like a theme of those bits. So like what I learned is, because I knew this about being a musician, like how do you come across to a crowd, right? And I was like, I'm not ugly enough to,
especially as a front man, you study that.
I'm not ugly enough though to make fun of people for being ugly. I'm not chubby enough to make fun of people for being fat.
Bro, you made fun of me for being fat
But
many times.
But I mean in public, right? Because it's different when we're with the homies. It's different when we're with the homies.
Bro, you've publicly commented I'm fat.
No, I haven't.
Bro, if you lost some weight, you'd be a good-looking motherfucker.
I never said that.
Bro, I will look it up right now. I can do a view as, like, you know, our friendship in Facebook, and all those comments.
I've never said that.
Those comments.
I've never said that. I've never said that.
You did tell me that one time.
I did call my old bass player Tim fat on Facebook. I said Tim got fat. It was me. I shouldn't have said it.
I don't care that I'm fat. I mean, I only care about my longevity. I don't give a fuck. I'm content with myself. Yeah, I could look better. I could be, you know, some things, but I like food, bro. I like cooking.
Oh, that was my point. Is so because I'm not fat, I can't do any of these like base level low hanging fruit styles. So I quickly figured out. I was like,
fat life.
Well, talking shit, like, because I'd love to be a Bill Burr, right? I'd love to go that direction, just be like, fucking fuck you, you're all fucking hypocrites. And I quickly realized, like, that doesn't play for me. It doesn't work for me. So what I figured out is I have to do is, Rudy called it character, right? Like, it's not making a character, but you have to play to your character, like your internal, your core, right?
Was this on the podcast?
Yeah, the most recent one. Which sounds like shit because the gate was too high, so it's clipping like every word. It's horrible to listen to. I apologize to everybody. But
you get conversation?
Yeah, it was. It
sounds like it.
It was unbearable to listen to in retrospect. I wish I would have had better audio production on it, but I learned that what I have to do, and I had already subconsciously done this. He just helped me realize, so that 40 minutes of jokes I have, now I can go, here's 5 minutes of jokes that all fit the right theme for me, which is, it's got to be all self-deprecating. Basically, the whole thing has to be built around how big of a piece of shit I am. It all has to be inward and talking shit about me, because that's how I'm going to get everybody on my side, wanting to defend
endless
me.
amounts of material for that.
Right, because I'm a horrible, unique piece of shit.
I didn't mean, bro.
I did. I meant it.
You got me. you got me. I ain't going to tell you
For real though. So, that's the point, though, is like, I also have 35, but now I can go, okay, I got 35 minutes joke. They're only going to let me do 5.
Yeah.
So, but now I can pick 5 minutes worth of material that all fits a theme. So it's already like you're building your 20 or your hour, right? Like, so you got to figure out like what angle you're going to go at. So the example he used was this girl who was like, looked nerdy, was kind of trying to dress slutty. And every joke was built on the idea of her coming out of this hyper Christian religion and her like abandoning that and getting out into the real world and experiencing everything like a child, right? So every joke she did landed because it lined up with that, not theme, but it worked for her character. Whereas if she would have like come out and tried to be like this crazy artist chick who's eccentric and better than everyone would have been like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, your look doesn't match what you're saying. So again, like, gay, gay, but you gotta like figure this shit out. And I was just like blown away because I was like, I kind of already subconsciously did all that. So now if I were to go to an open mic, I know which jokes to go to and like how to start packaging these things together. And if it doesn't work,
you're just talking about working things out, basically.
Yeah, because my biggest thing with the comedy deal is like, I can tell you how we write songs because there's 1,000 ways we do it, but I still have never figured out how to write a joke. I'm very confident on stage.
You need feedback.
But I don't know how to be a comedian.
You need real-time feedback.
Exactly.
You know how to read a room, all that stuff.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's so interesting to me because I hear Rogan talk about this all the time. He goes, you know, those musician guys, they're like us, but they're very different. They're lucky because they get to go into a vacuum and create great songs. Whereas then we don't get to make great jokes.
And then play the same song the rest of their life.
Yeah, dude.
Sell it the rest of their life. Whereas you can't sell the same joke more than once, twice.
Unless you're Bert Kreischer. Or what's his name? What's his name with is it Hot Pockets?
Oh, Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah. Or Ron White.
Jim Gaffigan though.
Ron
He's
White,
fun.
Tater Salad.
Bro, Ron White is the shit these days.
Some of these guys do have a hit single though.
Yeah, Ron White does, but have you checked out his recent shit? Dude, it's so fucking good. Dude, he is one of the coolest people of all time. He is so cool.
I mean,
I love that guy.
Rogan straight up credits him for everything he's done in Texas. He's like, it was all Ron White's idea. No matter what we're going to do, we're going to open a club.
Roseanne. What a couple. Well, that'd be a lot of fun, man. I think it'd be fun just to, maybe even work on each other's jokes before we go out. I mean, it'd be embarrassing.
Yeah.
It'd take a lot of ego shots, but I think you and I have a very close sense of humor, and we compliment each other.
We got to get Jeremy
Let's
Blake
do it with him too.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
I think we should. I think we should. Because honestly, here's the deal, dude. Like, my biggest fear is bombing.
I've done it a few times, and I bombed a few times, and you go off stage and you just like you hunch over. And you just like hunch it home, go get some tacos and just hunch home.
The only reason I think I can do it,
the long huncher.
The only reason I think I can do it is because even though every joke I've ever written is bombed, the jokes I've improv'd have crushed.
Yeah.
And I mean crushed. And it's happened in multiple scenarios where I'm either a lead singer bantering in between songs.
You know what you should do? You should re-listen to this podcast because I told you several times those are some banger bits. Okay. Because you've had me crying a few times here. You got some banger. This is exactly what you're talking about because it's off the fly.
Right.
Exactly what you're talking about.
And that's where it happened too. Like I used to MC shows. So I'd be the one who got up in between bands and just bantered.
You're fun too. Yeah.
And dude, I would just go up there and I would start talking shit. And like, I didn't know what I was doing, but later I figured out I was doing stand-up comedy because I would do crowd work. I'd interact with people. I'd crack jokes. So I already have a leg up on pretty much anybody that starts as a comedian. I was a lead singer. I'm comfortable in front of huge crowds, small crowds, empty rooms.
You can have the charisma on stage without like crippling and fear.
Yeah, I have zero give a fuck about where my leg stands. Like I have stage presence, meaning I understand what's happening on stage. So when I walk up as a new comedian, I'm not even thinking about that mic stand. I just grab it and move it out of my way.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a thing for new comedians. They forget to move the mic stand.
It is.
I'm telling you, I have years on stage.
David Lucas never has. He always holds it in the stand.
That works though. That's your deal then.
There's a few local vocalists that I think are hilarious on stage.
I would use the mic stand as a tool. Once I got really comfortable and I started building a real set, I would use it as a tool, and it would I
put your scarves around it, like
something like Steven Tyler. Yeah. Cheers. Oh wait, it's empty. You can't choose an empty beer.
No, there's a few good local vocalists that really crack me up. I love watching them every time just because they're so funny.
Oh, Jeremy and Kyle were the best at it.
They were fun.
I think I took all my inspiration from those two, which is why I know Jeremy would be great at it.
They're legend around here,
Dude,
around these parts.
They really are, though. They really are.
They really are. Yeah, they really are.
Jokes aside, they're legitimately...
They absolutely are.
They changed the deal, really.
The music scene, yeah.
They really changed the deal because they proved to people that... And I've told Jeremy this is not a secret, I'm not talking shit. Revelance was not good at the beginning. Revelance got popular before they got good. And he knows that. He talks about that. And he'll admit that. He'll go, yeah, because we became friends with everybody. Everybody legitimately wanted to hang out with us and party with us because we were a good time. When you hear about Pantera, if you ever hear those audio clips of fucking Vinny and fucking Dime hanging out, and it's yeah, man, we're trying to fucking get everybody together and have a fucking good time, man. We're just trying to have a good time. It really was the Bert Kreischer thing. It was about the hang. It was let's have people over and let's be good hosts. Let's fucking... And that's why,
bro, dude, you got to listen to that Bert Shinedown podcast.
I did. I listened to
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I listened to.
I thought you listened to just a couple clips.
I listened to the podcast, but I listened to it in chunks. So I'd listen to it half hour, 45 minutes at a time.
It's so good, man.
I probably missed a couple spots, but
did you see the Brent? His story about not Bert, but the real Brent, the singer for Shinedown. Do you see his story about his parents and why he wrote Second Chance and everything?
I
It was
did hear
incredible.
that. I actually got really choked up in that point.
Dude, I cried with Bert.
Yeah, that was one of those moments where I was like, I was like feeling like a serious bitch,
Dude.
and then Bert was crying, and I was like, okay, I may still be a bitch, but like I feel better that I'm not the only bitch listening to this right now.
That was like one of the best moments in podcast history.
You think?
For
That's
real.
a dramatic statement, but
Dude, come on, getting a personal concert from those guys on a whim when they've never ever done that on a podcast ever before. Come on.
I didn't make it that far. I haven't finished that podcast.
Oh, dude, you didn't see when they sang it?
That must be in like the last half hour then.
Yeah, it is. It is exactly the last half hour.
Because like I said, I that specific episode I've listened to in like half hour chunks, and it's one of his best podcasts. Like seriously,
dude, it's
one
phenomenal.
Like,
it's the only podcast that has no negative comments on it.
Bert is
like what?
Bert is an annoying podcast host. Like
He's an annoying guy.
I wouldn't say that, but
For
he's
the most
an
part.
annoying host because everything that people complain about me about, I complain about Bert about. Like they were saying something interesting and you had to interject. Like, shut the fuck up and let them finish their idea.
That's true.
That's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. Right, which is also why I love him and put myself in his category because I relate to that guy way more than I should.
You know, Bert's a guitarist, right?
Yeah, he's actually surpringly legit.
Surprisingly good, and so he has.
He's got a decent voice too.
He has. It's so weird. So he has all these guitars, and one of the guys was acting or talking about it because he has one of the signature guitars from the dude from Shinedown. And he was asking about it, and he's like, yeah, go pick it up and play. And he started playing it, and Brent started singing. And Bert's like, shut up. This is a Miller High Life moment. He got up and went and grabbed a beer, and they played, and he legit started crying. And Shinedown is his producer's favorite band. So they asked his producer to come play with them, and he played with him,
Holston?
and he sung harmonies with him. Dude, it was so beautiful. It was incredible.
And it's weird because like
so cool.
I became kind of a fan of those guys. Like I still am not a fan of that band, like their music yet. But it's something that I've noticed has happened on the Minneapolis
the
local
people,
scene.
They're cool people.
Well, and we've talked about this on this podcast where it's like I didn't like these guys' music, and then we became friends with them, and then suddenly I'm like, I like their band, and then all of a sudden I'm like a legit fan of their music, and then I become a fan of the people in the band. Like I become like a fan of Ian, the guitar player. Yeah. So then even when this band breaks up, I'm automatically a fan of your next band.
Yes.
And I didn't even like your band. I started off just like you're cool, and then we hung out at shows, and I don't mean literally you, but I've had this conversation with guys on the podcast where I'm like, yeah, I wasn't even a fan of you guys, but then I got to know you as people and completely fell in love with you as human beings. Then I became a fan of your band because I loved you as people. Then I became a fan of you as individual musicians, which followed me to your next project, which is why I'm a fan of this band. Because I'm a genuine fan of yours now, and I want to see you do awesome things. So when you join something dope, I'm already in. And that just became very interesting to me because I used to be a hater, and it was just one of those moments where it was like, yeah, I was a hater of this band. -3 was a great example of that. Couldn't stand -3. We lost to them in the Battle of the Bands. Fuck those guys. They're the rivals. I started hanging out
after the mic on that one.
I started hanging out with Dalton at Area 51, and we're buddies. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I kind of like this -3 band.
I don't know.
And then I really liked -3.
I don't know. That place is very alien to me.
Oh, it wasn't Area 51. That's the real place, right? Area 51 is the real place, right?
Yeah, S4.
Area 52 is the place that was in town. You never partied there, did you?
No,
You're too young for that one, bucko.
Dude, I when I moved here like a week before Revelance's very last show.
Yeah,
that's when I moved here.
At the end. So
2004.
Back in the day, and I'm going to write a movie about this place. So back in the day, there was. I actually have already technically written a movie. It just sucks, so I'm going to rewrite. But I went to school for screenwriting, and I went to a creative arts school. So like, I've written like. So many
I know it sucks.
I've written so many scripts. It's ridiculous. They started out as just a passive hobby.
Really?
Like because I have these stories in my head, like, and I just needed to get them out, and it was like almost therapy. You know, like how some guys like pick up guitar and they're like, it's a hobby for me.
That's how I am. That's how I get my emotion. Always guitar.
Right. Well, there was a period of time for me where it's like, dude, I can't fucking do any more music. I've been doing this for 8 hours. Like, I'm going to go write this dumb story I've been thinking about in my head. And I took a script writing class, several. And so I wrote this movie, and it's basically about Area 52, which was the secret, and this is not a joke, this is literal. It was basically a secret underground club that nobody knew about. You couldn't go to it, and it didn't really exist. What it really was a rehearsal space in the arts district that was a couple levels that everybody went to on Friday nights because a guy named David Slam, who I'm trying to get on the podcast, because he's basically the movie's going to be about him.
Sounds like a grand guy.
And
grand slant. Yeah.
That was a bad joke. But you've been nailing dingers. That wasn't even a base hit. That wasn't even a foul ball. That was a fucking.
Dude, that's what my set's like. It's that bad.
So, but this guy basically, what he decided to do was he was going to host an open mic, open jam on Friday night, starting at 10 o'clock. So what ended up happening was when bands would get done with their shows on Friday nights, we would all, and you could only get
Where was this place?
You could only get there by secret invite from another musician who already knew where it was. It was in Northeast Minneapolis on like Monroe or Madison.
There's a place like that in West St. Paul for a bit.
So what would happen was we would all go there after the Star Central or the Rock shows, because those were the two main, or First Avenue or 7th Street entry. Fine Line was
Station 4.
Fine Line was a thing, but Station 4 was so far away that they just stayed at Station 4 because they had rehearsal spaces above Station 4. Okay. So if you did Station 4, you just partied at Station 4 that night up in the rehearsal spaces above the building. But everywhere else, when you were done with your show and you wanted to party, nobody could go back to their apartments. Nobody could go back to their parents' house. So the after party went to Area 52, which was an open jam. So the best musicians in town, and I'm talking the best musicians in town, all started hanging out at this place, and we would all go there. We would all go there. And they would
we, us, Elvis, and sorry.
We would all go there
and just call back.
And they would all jam. This is where I separate myself from these guys. Because I never had the balls to get up there and do the open jam. Because I was just a lead singer in a shitty new metal band. We're talking Dan Knight. We're talking fucking Owen.
It's all sorts of shitty people. I mean, the list goes on.
The best musicians in town.
The good ones. I'm sorry.
Up,
you said you were in a shitty band.
I was in a shitty band, and that's why I separate myself from these guys.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Because they would get up, dude, and these parties would go till 4 and 6 in the morning. People got married there. People met there, got engaged there, got married there. There was literally at least one wedding there. I've
heard about this place.
I'm telling you, like, this is the place that movies are written about. Like, and I've already written one shitty version, and now that I'm a little better and I'm a little more mature, I think I can go back and rewrite this script. And I'm telling you, dude, like, if I meet the right people, I've got like 3. I've got 3 where I'm like, you got one shot to fucking submit a script. If I know enough about this person and what they like, it's one of these 3, right? Cool. And it's I got a love story, I got this story, and then I got another one that's like what I describe as Tarantino meets the Coen brothers. So it's told out of order, like Pulp Fiction, but it's like a Coen brothers film. It's really like No Country for Old Men, Fargo, like very stoic and very like suspenseful without drama. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just like
does.
The way I describe that movie is it's Coen Brothers meets Tarantino, as if you were witnessing a car crash you knew was going to happen, but you still couldn't avoid it in slow motion. That's basically that third story, right? So, but this one, I'm telling you, man, like
a literal one, or just a chaotic event.
Both. It's both a metaphor and a literal moment in the movie. Like, so the movie starts off with a car crash, and that is the ending of the movie. So you know that's how the movie ends. And kind of like Star Wars Episode 3, where like he becomes Darth Vader.
I don't know.
But they actually wrote it well enough to where the whole time you're somehow like, oh, come on, get out of it. But like, that's Darth Vader. We already watched these movies. Like, it's a prequel. We know this happened. That's Darth Vader. Like, he becomes
I've never really
the bad
watched
guy.
Star Wars.
Fair enough, but you still know who Darth Vader is. Everybody knows who Darth Vader is. He's the bad guy.
He's that one wrestler that had like that massive.
You son of a bitch. But yeah, so Area 52 is that place, is what I'm saying. Like, like Studio 54, like, dude, this is one of those places that needs to be written about. And
cool.
It's a magical moment in a lot of people.
Dude, I support you.
Nobody will ever recreate that, no matter how. And I tried, like, and it's never. David Slam did something really special. He's still totally like, he's not even like old. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to be like, he's still around. Like he's still just like us. Like he's still just totally doing shit, just being awesome. You know, I gotta get him on the fucking podcast. We gotta tell that story in its entirety.
Yeah, dude, let me know if you do. I want to listen to that. Sounds interesting.
That's gonna be a fun one. And that's what I'm trying to do with the relaunch of the podcast is like, let's start getting on some different guys instead of just my buddies who are comfortable. Let's start getting some new people. I got a producer coming in. We're going to start trying to get some more famous guests. I got this one comedian who I'm trying to get to come into town. And he was like, I don't have any dates. And I was like, well, I could hook you up with a couple people. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Give me a couple weeks. I got a podcast coming up with one guy. That was Rudy. And I was like, I know a few other well-connected people. And so I talked to Rudy and I talked to these other people. And some of them are yes, some of them are no.
Is Rudy considered a comedian?
Yeah.
Really?
He left.
I thought he was just a DJ.
He left the radio business a long time ago.
Really? So he's
a stand-up comic, dude. I'll send you his Instagram. He's dope. He's really good. He's really fucking good.
That's crazy.
He just opened for Dave Attell. Okay. He is Adam Carolla's producer for his podcast.
Really?
He does all of Adam Ray's clips that you see on Instagram. Dude, all of that is Rudy Pavich. And
dude, Adam Ray is my new favorite. Dude, the Dr. Phil live. Are you kidding me? We'll be right back.
Dude, I'm just saying, man. Like Rudy's the man, dude.
Dude, that is sick, unreal.
So,
dude, that new Adam Ray stuff he does with Dr. Phil is so funny. Watch those Dr. Phil lives. Right? We just watched the one that he had on his website the other day that had Dr. Pimple Popper on. Oh yeah, did you see that? Dude, you got the main bit with her on it is, dude, it's so funny. Can I spoil it for you or no? Yeah. So they go to pop.
It'll still be funny.
They go to like pop a pimple on this guy's face
in like real time on stage,
and it's like squirting and pussing out. And Mark Norman and Bert are there, and they're just like, oh, and Bert's like, oh, he's like gagging and stuff. And she pulls out a piece of macaroni and gives it to Dr. Phil. And he just goes up and he just goes in front of the crowd and just eats it. Dude, it's so funny. And then they got Mark Norman. It was a prosthetic.
Oh.
But like they did it, she had all of her gear and everything. She made it look sterile. It was such a classic, just like slapstick comedy moment.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's so fun. It's so brilliant.
I'll watch that one for sure.
Oh, dude, he is crushing it lately.
Now in a couple months, we're gonna have a producer. He'll pull that clip up and we'll just watch it.
Yeah,
you gotta come back on again.
The clip's not out there. You gotta buy it's like $10. You gotta buy the episode.
Oh, it's like a special.
AdamRayLive.com.
Yeah, it's not on like the.
Right.
They do the YouTube ones.
They do, but it got kicked off YouTube, so they just released. It was too intense. Okay. Yeah, dude, it was a pretty. I don't know. I thought it was a good episode. That one, dude, the Steph Tolev episode. Jesus Christ, just killing it.
So Steph Tolev's the shit, but I want to finish this story before I forget. So
okay, yeah.
I'm trying to get this comedian to come in, and I'm like, all right, well, here's the deal. I'll try to get you hooked up with these guys. We'll book you a couple comedy shows, and then you'll do the podcast while you're. He's like totally down. So I talked to Rudy, and Rudy's like, yeah, for sure. So I hit up dude, and actually, there's another guy who I'm not going to mention, and there's two guys that are like, nah, dude, I'm not interested. One of them was just weird. And like, you know how guys get like weird and standoffish? You know what I mean? And they're just weird about
like
shit.
Half of all comedians.
Well, even musicians in like the music industry. You know how like just get weird and shit?
The guy we were talking about earlier.
Like everybody's like, yeah. And then we're like, okay, cool, let's do it. Like, let's pick and they're all of a sudden they're like, just absent. They're gone.
They wanted the instant approval.
It's just weird. They just get weird. That's the only way I'm ever going to describe it. They get fucking weird. And then the other guy was like, yeah, I know him. And so I was like, okay, cool. But I got two guys, right? So I hit him up and I'm like, okay, cool. Shoot me your phone number. I'm going to send it to these guys. They're going to give you a call, right? Because I'm not comfortable taking their information and giving it to this guy. And then this guy decides to just get weird. So like, dude, do you want to hook up with these like legit industry cats or not? Like, I understand you might be nervous about giving me your phone number, but here's the deal, dude. Like, have a burner phone, take a risk. You know what I mean? Because like, I'm not doing this through email. Like, I'm not hooking all you guys up. Like, I'm an old school dude. It's through phone calls. Like, I want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'll be like, okay, yes. I have to, because that's the first thing Rudy goes. He goes, have you actually talked to this dude? And I go, well, I've talked to him a lot through Instagram and private messages and shit. And like, I know it's really him. Like, I know he's a real comedian, but no, I've never like spoken audible words with this guy.
Yeah, it's dude, people are so
weird
about phones.
It's not that weird, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like, if you want to do it, you got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, go get a burner phone, give me a fake number, like, and then I'll pass that number on. But like, I got to hear your voice so I can be like, yep, I talked to this dude. He's cool. Here you go. Here's his phone number. And then Rudy and this other guy can hit you up directly. And like, these are legit. And Rudy's not even trying to be like, yeah, he can open for me. Rudy's like, yeah, I'll connect him with like my booking people. This is like a serious step for this guy up. You know what I mean? And my selfish motive is, yeah, you come do my podcast. That's what I get out of this. This isn't some weird, creepy shit. Like, I hook you up with people that are bigger than you, and in return, you come do my podcast. And then hopefully someday when you blow up, I can do this again with the next guy. Because I love finding people on the come up. That's what I really love more than anything else is the guys on the come up. It's like finding a fucking rookie baseball card. And I'm like, oh, I know this guy's going to be great. And then you felt like William Montgomery. That's my fucking, him and Casey Rocket. Those are my two guys.
Casey Rocket is so much fun.
Those are my two guys right now where I'm like, I'm fucking drafting these guys in the first round and I'm riding their fucking wave. So when I'm 65 years old and these guys are crushing it in Madison Square Garden, I can go to that concert and be like, I saw you on Kill Tony on your second set when you were 20 years old, dude. And this is the first time I've been able to make it to come see you. Like,
did you go to the Tony and Friends show here a couple months ago?
No, I usually either don't have time or money.
We were sitting around
one night. It's one of the problems.
We're sitting around one night. We're just kind of bored, looking for something to do, and we went and Googled it, and it was in there in town. And it was like, okay, and they had a couple nosebleeds for sale for $11. Dude, and of all the regulars there, the only one that made me cry, like he made me almost cry laughing, was William Montgomery. Dude, he screamed the whole time. He screamed. The entire time he just fucking screamed. It was crazy. I've never seen anything. And Tony actually wasn't as good as Tony's last special, so I was a little bummed. Cam was okay, but it was all repetition. Yeah. Cam Patterson. Yeah, he is good, but he repeats jokes. Hans was good. David Lucas showed up. That was cool, but he wasn't very good. He was like sick or something. He wasn't good at all, and he only did like 10 minutes. It was weird. But yeah, William Montgomery, his set was by far the best. I mean, we were laughing our fucking asses off. I mean, he was screaming. $11 each. Yeah. Yeah, $11 each. But they're nosebleeds. We were in the very upper deck of whatever, Orpheum or State Theater or whatever it was. Jared's gay. Yeah, the State Theater. Jared's still gay. Yeah, they were good. It's just like I'm so fat, it was really hard to get up to the nosebleeds. It was just like, the effort. It took a lot of effort. Because there's no elevators that go up all the way. You're just like forced to like walk up like 10 flights of stairs. Or 3, whatever. 2 maybe. One maybe. I don't know what it was. It was a lot of stairs.
Did you say I was so fat, so it was hard to get up there? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Dude, you'd be surprised. Like being fat.
Why do you think you're fat?
I'm just saying, you'd be surprised. Being fat makes it very hard to get up a lot of stairs.
I'm not arguing that, dude, because here's the thing, dude. People never believe that I made it all the way up to 195 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot to guys that are big. I get it. I'm not trying to be like, woe is me.
I'm 100 pounds heavier than that right now.
But dude, here's the point is like, when I got up to 195, dude, like I got winded mowing the lawn. I got winded going up the stairs. Like I was fat. I was out of shape. It doesn't matter. I had to work to get there though, right? Like I had to like go out of my way, and it was intentional. I was doing what was called a dirty bulk, right? So I was trying to change my metabolism. So
you did intentionally? Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to change my metabolism, put on as much weight as I could by any means necessary. And there's a number of reasons for this that I won't get into because it's not that interesting. But my question is like, I hear a lot of people complain about getting fat or being fat. What do you think your vice is? Is it because you said you love food? So is it a certain type of food? Oh, careful. Yep, there you go. Nice job. I love guitar players. Fucking love guitar players.
It's an addiction.
I understand that, but like specifically, what is it? So do you comfort eat for soothing? Is it, do you have a propensity to go into like Joe Rogan talking about pasta?
I like,
you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I like to indulge in good flavor.
Because some people, it's just straight up junk food. They're just
no.
Will, you know Will, right?
I cook like a motherfucker.
You know Will, right?
I only eat good food. I don't go to fast food. Yes, I know Will.
Yeah, so his whole thing was like, I just quit drinking soda. That's what I'm getting at, is like, have you figured out the one thing it is for you?
I actually quit drinking soda when I was 19. I don't drink soda. Like, I quit. I'm actually really healthy besides my drinking, and just, it's my body type. I don't know. I gain weight super fast.
Do you do any working out at all?
Besides walking my dog lately, no, but I bought a bike. My son works at a bike shop, and he mountain bikes.
What if you did this? Because I'm going to have Eric Kais on next. Yeah, go ahead. Do what you got to do. You got to piss? Oh, yeah. I just needed to know if I needed to start yelling because you were going to piss. So what if we did this? Eric Kais is coming on next week, right? I'll talk to him about it. What if you started doing something very simple? Because this is what I started doing, okay? So I started off, I was going to Jamaica, and I knew I was going to want to take my shirt off.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
So I decided I was going to do 100 push-ups, or I was going to work up to doing 100 push-ups every day before I got to Jamaica. Of course, I didn't make it. Of course, I didn't make it, but I am doing 100 push-ups a day. It took me a long time to get there. And it started off with literally doing 10.
10 a time? Yeah.
No, just 10 a day. Today I'm going to do 10 push-ups. And the next day it was 15. And then the next day it was 15. And then the next day it was 20. And then the next day it was 20. And then 20. And then 20. And then 25. And then it was 30. And then 35. And then it was 35. And then it was 40, 50. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was this very slow. And I did them in sets of starting off as 10. And then I do sets of 25. So now I just do 4 sets of 25. And honestly, man, the first 25 are a fucking cakewalk.
Yep.
The second 25 are pretty fucking easy.
I've actually done this.
The third 25 are like, okay, dude, the last 5 to 10 of those last 25 are absolute devastation. Yeah. And I already know.
Just doing like one sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes I sit there for like a solid 5 seconds and just take a big ass breath. And I'm like, I got 3 more to go.
And you just collapse.
I do 1 or 2, and then I can barely make it up for that one. And I'm like, I got two left. And I get there and I just, and sometimes I'm there for 10, 20 seconds. But I'm like, I'm not giving up. Like, I'm only 2 away from my 100. Every time I actually finish it, I feel so proud of myself. But my point is what if you just start off with that? So then you don't have to put any pressure on yourself about giving up food or changing your diet. Just maybe slowly start incorporating
give up food,
some working out. If you're doing none now,
I need to give up the drink is what I need to do.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's fun though.
It is fun, but
maybe go
it's
Bert Kreischer
calories.
Maybe go Bert Kreischer on the bit, which is kind of my vibe. Is like, I work out now and I work out hard, so I don't
drink
have
a bottle
to quit
of wine
drinking
while I'm working out.
But I do it so I don't have to quit drinking. Because everybody else develops such a bad problem that they have to truly quit. I don't ever want to have to truly quit. I want to be able to continue to just
I understand that.
take a break.
I drink for other reasons, though.
I think we all do. But I'm not talking about the drinking. I'm talking about the idea of like battling, gaining weight, maintaining weight versus strict dieting. So like, what if we started doing a little bit of work? Do you think that would make it a little bit easier for you? Just add in some more caloric burn instead of worrying about what you're intaking all the time?
I'd probably do it if I had I mean, by the time, I'm going to get a new job here soon, so I probably won't get the time, but I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
You should be able to do it every morning. Like, wake up, do 10 push-ups.
Okay, well, yeah, I can do that. I thought you were talking about doing like a group thing.
No, I'm saying like literally, I'm going to talk to Kai's and see what he thinks about this because I'm meeting with him next week for the podcast. But what I'm saying is like, what if you just started doing something simple every morning and you just 10 push-ups?
I've met up with him I've talked with him a few times about this, and it's actually on me for not following his advice at this point.
I'm not trying to beat you up, dude. That's not what my goal is.
We were talking earlier, like how you talked, like, how you said I'm fat.
I didn't say that.
You said that. Yeah.
You said I said that.
We just spent 15 minutes reinforcing it, so I just want to go back to earlier.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's not what I was doing.
I want to go back to earlier and just be like, I told you.
Fucker. God damn it. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Dude, I don't care. You care about me. You care that I appear unhealthy.
No, my question was is why do you think you're fat? And you said it's the food. And I said, okay, well, what if instead of worrying about the food, you just added in a little bit of working out without going crazy like
there's a lot of reasons why I'm fat. Okay, yeah. There's a lot of reasons why I'm fat. Yeah. Food is, when I'm sober, food is the thing. But when I'm not sober, I eat healthy. I don't eat a lot. I get only calories. It's. I don't like admitting it.
Well, I just asked because I'm battling with a similar thing. Like, I have a hard time putting on muscle, right? And so I had to do this dirty bulk just to put some mass on my body, so I could have energy to burn. Because that was the other thing, is I had nothing in the tank. So trying to work out, I would deplete everything I had. I'd literally sweat out every fucking electrolyte I had in my body. I had no glucose stored because I had no fat stored, right? I was just this rail. And so there was no chance of me putting on muscle at that point because I didn't have enough time in the day for me to eat enough fucking food to do these things at the same time. So what I decided to do was a dirty bulk, right? So I'm going to figure out by any means necessary, take the extra side of pasta, say yes to the extra portion, junk food at night, fucking literally, like, I was eating all fucking day long. I finally fucking put on weight. Nobody could see it, but it was there. I could feel it in my knees. I could feel it in my hips. And then once I hit 195, I was in a lot of pain. I'm like, all right, so now we got to get stronger. So now I'm 185. I've only lost 10 of those pounds, but I put on a shit ton of muscle. Yeah. You still can't fucking see, right?
You still can't fucking see. Dude, there's a 12-pack under here,
but I started thinking about it differently, and that's what I was really getting at it with you, because you were like, oh, yeah, I'm fat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Why do you think you're fat? Because some people can go, oh, yeah, it's because that's why I brought up Will. Because he realized he was fat by drinking soda.
I can tell you the truth here. If you...
Is there one thing, or is it just like six things? Little things. What is it?
I grew up poor, and we didn't have a lot of food. And whenever I had the chance to get food, I would just stuff my face. So I have this insatiable need to just like stuff my face until I'm almost puking, and I can't get rid of it.
That's so interesting.
And the thing about it is,
that makes sense, dude.
The thing about it is, like, when I get hungry, it's not like a feeling of hunger. It's a feeling of, oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't eat.
Interesting. So for me, because I grew up super poor, and literally that's one of the reasons my body's all fucked up in multiple ways, is because I was underfed and malnourished to the point where I didn't know this for a long time, but I was anorexic for years, and it destroyed my digestive system. So here I am at 40 years old, suffering those consequences, trying to rebuild my digestive system. But what it did for me was condition me eating. So for me, I can easily just like stop eating for a long time.
I guess it's a matter of perspective, I guess, huh? Like how you respond.
For me, it was conditioned. Same thing with like a lot of guys in our world, right? They get really lonely, so they get with toxic women, right? Well, here's the thing. I spent so much time alone. That wasn't supposed to be funny, but
no, but you just hit me with a truth bomb like no other. That is so, dude, is so true, and more men need to realize that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've had this conversation with most of my friends. Like, dude, you need to break up with her, and they'll say, dude, I'm fucking lonely. I can't be alone. And I'm like, that's
the problem.
That's your answer.
That's
right
the
there.
problem. Yeah.
Learn to be alone. Well, here's my point. I was extremely lonely growing up, but I got conditioned for it. So I developed that thing you talked about earlier, that detachment engagement thing, to where now, like, when I go into my feels and I get depressed, I isolate. I do the opposite of what everybody else does. I don't indulge. I stop eating. I fucking stop hanging out with people. It's almost like a fucking Buddhist monk. Like I will literally wither away in depression. I will quit eating. And it's literally the same exact scenario. Grew up poor, didn't have a lot of food, super alone, super isolated, super depressed, but it manifested itself in the exact opposite scenario. And I love to blame my metabolism for it too.
I don't think it's so opposite. When I'm in my deep, dark episodes, it's the same exact.
No shit, huh?
Yeah, I don't eat. Yeah. I'm talking about like when I'm happy.
So you know what the craziest thing is when we're in these scenarios and we think about our feels and our childhoods, how it manifests itself into our creativity and the beauty, right? We take that suffering and we turn it into something awesome. Because
as musicians,
find me one great musician or comedian who didn't have a horrible childhood or upbringing. So again, it kind of brings it full circle to where we kind of started with this before we even went to the podcast, which is like that cycle of like where we get that creative inspiration from. And like, name me one person who's fucking awesome who grew up with everything perfect. Like, you kind of need that struggle. No, he didn't. His dad was a piece of shit.
I'm just saying shitty things.
Even him,
gonna laugh.
Even him, he was tormented. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, man. Like, we're all fucked up. In that, to me,
even Joe Rogan. I mean, dude, he refuses to talk about his father. You know, in all of his thousands of podcasts, thousands of hours.
Have you seen the clips of his dad on other people's podcasts?
No.
There's only a couple of them, but his dad straight up says he's gay.
Joe's gay?
Yeah. What he says is he's got sugar in his tank, and no matter how much martial arts, no matter how tough he tries to act,
that's such a Bostonian thing to say.
He's got sugar in his tank.
That's such a Bostonian thing to say.
That's what he says. Yeah,
he's a fairy.
Yeah, it's such a fucked thing to say about your kid.
He likes some apple pie.
Like, what fucked up world did you grow up in where you can't love your? Like, I get it. You may not want a gay kid. Like, I get it. You grew up in this traditional upbringing. This is what you think the world should be. I get it. But where I was really going with this is that idea of like, we take this suffering and we turn it into beauty and inspire others to leave their own. And that's what I've always taken pride in, because you know me, I'm not actually a successful musician, but I've had success. And what I define as success is two things. Because Greg, I'm going to say it this way. This doesn't mean this is literal. So somebody's going to take this the wrong way and fuck off. But Greg called me out when I was on his podcast, right? And he goes, you talk about being a successful musician. What does that mean to you? And I went, well, it means two things. It means either a combination and or of making enough money to pay the bills and live a decent life and raise kids. Right? That's a successful musician. So nobody knows your name. You're in a cover. Maybe you're the bass player for Hairball. Nobody knows that guy's name, but he's an extremely successful musician. You know what I mean?
I know John.
Is his name John?
I don't know. No, I don't.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like in the annals of history, nobody knows his name, but he's a very successful musician. He's a fan.
Annals of history. Hairball.
Seriously.
I understand.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That like
You're just talking about hairball, though. It's so funny.
there's a reason I used hairball because they should not be mentioned in the annals of history.
My old drummer used to play shows with them, and he used to call them ball hair.
Nothing but love and respect to hairball. You guys are doing great things, but my point is that
are they going to listen to this?
they're successful.
I apologize.
They are successful. They're making money playing music. Okay. The second version of success is something that happened to me. Now, I was able, luckily enough, for at least a handful of years to pay my bills doing music exclusively. Didn't have a job. I wasn't taking part-time jobs. I was just playing music, filling in, fucking taking shitty paid cover gigs, jobber gigs, whatever I could do. Doesn't matter. The second version of success, something that I've been lucky enough to happen 2 or 3 times, which is what I set out to do at 12 years old. James Hetfield inspired me to make music, and he saved my life from depression and fucking dealing drugs and being a bad person. Dedicated my life to music, and someday I'll meet James, and I'm going to tell him, hey man, just so you know, even though I'm 50, you're still that guy from
Papa Het.
Papa Het.
Dude, they call him Papa Het for a reason, man.
3 different times somebody has come up to me and said that. One of them, the most memorable, was somebody came up at the garage and they were like, oh, I love your band, blah, 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 blah. And they bought a t-shirt, I signed it. And then 6 years later, this person came up at a different band's concert. They're like, I've been following, I seen you back at the garage, you signed my t-shirt, blah, 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 blah. And I decided I wanted to be like you and make music.
Cool.
And it saved me from blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And there's been a few of these. There's been 3 of them. Yeah. And so that's success in my mind because I literally
I've had that with several people too. Right? That's it's an incredible feeling.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And one at the garage too.
And I would never have done that sans all the suffering and the shitty childhood I was from. Yeah. I would have probably got into stock.
So you're going a full circle here. Is creativity.
It's full circle plus. It's full circle plus, meaning it's full circle and I'm giving back. I'm creating a positive.
It seems like what you're saying is creativity is built from adversity. Or
most of it for sure.
Or a healthy response to adversity.
Yeah, and there's, well, I definitely think there's certain creative, amazing people out there who are brilliant because they were encouraged by both parents from a young age to be weird and be flamboyant. Yeah, me too. I did that a while ago. So I definitely think you don't have to suffer to be creative and to be great. But I think suffering oftentimes creates great in creativity.
No, I agree.
It also creates like homicidal maniacs, but
and diamonds. There's only a short, small handful of comedians that came from good home.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah. How many of them have such fucked up childhoods?
Go piss. I'll rant on this for a minute. I know you gotta piss. There's also only a handful of good basketball players that have come from good homes. There's only a good handful of football players that have come from good homes. Like, typically the greatest of our society came from great struggle. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think there's 2 main routes that it happened. You're either insanely encouraged and reinforced and backed up, or you were doubted and neglected. And those are the only 2 ways that we have a great community. Maybe I'm completely wrong, though. Maybe it's just our perspective, Ian. Maybe it's one of those deals where it's like, we don't know all those middle-class families where their parents just bought them a little bit of music. Just let them do their thing. I wonder about that. Because I have a phrase that you can't create fire without a little friction, because that's just scientific. You cannot create fire. So
can't create cyanide without soil.
But the metaphor, you fuck. But the metaphor is like, if the fire is greatness, great music, great art, right? Like, find me a band. This is what I say: find me a band that gets along perfectly, and I'll find you a shitty band. Like, I'll be like, yeah, and they suck. Like, every great,
dude, that's such a great quote. Dude.
You know what I mean? Though? Like, every great band in the history of bands that wrote great music, they fucking fight like cats and dogs because the friction creates the fire.
You know,
it's cliche.
I was talking about this with someone last night, and they were saying, actually just last night, and they were saying that the reason that it is people commenting. The reason it is like that is because I think we actually talked about this earlier, but we all associate our healing and our dealing with trauma as our creative outlet. So when you're creating genius with people, you're talking about your trauma, and you got 5 other traumatic people grasping it and just not wanting to let control, but you can take that little bit of it. You can change this a little bit. Dude, yeah. It's hard and it's complicated.
How do you harness all of everything we've talked about with the bad, the good, the love, the inspiration? Where does it, in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, as a musician, when you pick up that guitar and I send you a riff and I go, Ian, lay down, especially when I, like the way I do, I give you direction. I go, Ian, here's this song. I need direction. I want you to go Misery Signals meets Coheed and Cambria. Very abstract, but you already know because we've done this. We've literally done this. You were flirting with the project for a while. And I go, here's the vibe. Lay down anything you want in these sections. How do you, what is your mindset? What is your approach? Take me through it when you decide to pick up, you're listening to the music. Do you think about the key? Do you think about notes? Do you think about an experience? Do you listen to the music and go, this song for some reason reminds me of this breakup, and when I touch the guitar it makes me bend these notes? Like, what? How does it happen for you in any capacity, whether it's leads or not? Take me through any version of this, but maybe start with if my example is not the best, maybe it's a Ghost of Mississippi song.
We've been so productive lately, and dude, I'm telling you that band, I've never been in such a fulfilling band. They are so unreal. I've never been in a band where every single dude there is at the top of their game. I've never been in a band like that. They're all incredible, all of them. Not a single person lacks. It's crazy. But with like music that I write, I can only write acoustic songs. I can write metal riffs, but I can't. I have a hard time putting together full songs.
So you can write riffs, but you wouldn't call yourself a songwriter, because I do.
Only with acoustic, I would.
You can write a whole song
acoustically. I have hundreds of them. Yep. But that's, I was raised, whatever. When I was young, I got involved with the church. It was a refuge for, my lack of father. So I really grasped it, and I had a lot of really, really great musicians in the church teach me how to play. I was very, very fortunate. One of them became worship leader at Lakewood Church for Joel Osteen, and he actually knows Shaq. No shit, huh? Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, they're father figures to me, and they don't really know how important they were to me. I've told them, but I don't think they really grasp it. But there's that. I get asked to do a lot of leads, a lot of the time. My process is a lot different with leads. Leads is like, I'll listen to the track, and whatever I hear in my head is like, if I start humming something, I usually just like play what I'm humming. I'll like hum something first. So there's no intent, there's no plan going into it. It's just literally you hear something in your head on top of. If I hear like a little earworm or a hook, I'll figure out the hook, then I'll figure out what works around it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But I like lead playing way more than I like writing acoustic. I love fucking ripping a good lead. There's nothing like it. Before, when I was playing you some of the shit from the band I joined, which I'm keeping this. I'm not trying to be coy, you guys. I'm not trying to be cooler or any of that shit. I'm playing it close to vest because I've made the mistake of talking about things
and then they don't come about
prematurely. Yeah.
So I'm playing this one close.
Big things are coming and nothing comes.
Exactly. I've done that because I'm trying to build. That's the story of my life, basically. But I played this shit for you, and this shit's real. It's happening. Like, this is really gonna. And you said something that I found very interesting because I was describing a scenario, and you said I'm in the second one where I said the first situation is you're the man, you write everything, all responsibility comes down to you. You make all the calls. It's your band, it's your baby, blah 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 blah. And then the second scenario is I'm just a guy. I get to just show up and just be the drummer and fucking I get all the perks.
I would say like half and half. I wouldn't say I'm totally
second. Well, at the time you were like, I'm in the second category. I love that scenario. And that's what it sounded like you were just describing, which is like I like to write leads, like a Kirk Hammett scenario, which is like you don't have to worry about running Metallica. You don't have to worry about writing all the songs. You get to just be Kirk Hammett, show up, write dope fucking solos. Ideally, you're still a value. You're still 25% of that band.
Ideally, yes.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, ideally, yes. But my current band's not like that. I do write a lot of it. Of the new stuff. I mean, they have.
But you also said they kind of brought you in to help and do that. Like that's your role. You're playing in that band.
The two of the other main guys in the band have other projects, and they play multiple times a week. They make a lot of their living doing it, so they don't have the time. So they wanted to preserve the project and bring in a new person.
Right.
So I was in, and luckily I made the cut. But dude, this new stuff we're writing, dude, it's the best music I've ever been a part of.
That's impressive because you've done some really great shit,
dude.
Man.
It's the best stuff I've never. It's acoustic guitar, and I've never felt like this playing music before. It's super cool, dude. It's so fun.
So you got Vince on vocals, and and when you and I were in a private hang. You mentioned how great of a leader he is as like a band leader and
as a person,
like a leader.
Yeah.
Then you have
I love
Big Neil on bass, right? Still, Big Neil is probably the most underrated bass player in. Like that motherfucker going all the way back to 6
because he's kind
was dope.
Because he's kind and calm.
Sure,
I know he has a reputation.
That's not why I would call him underrated, though.
he has the whiskey pig moniker and all that, but like
no, but I'm talking about musical playing. That's not why I would never say Neil is underrated because he's a nice person. Yeah. I'm saying he's underrated because people, when they talk about great bass players in this town, unfortunately, that guy's not a part of that discussion ever. And I think the reason is because the bands he's in aren't bass centric. So for example, Joe Bjornrud of Revenant Soul, which isn't a band anymore. They were very recently. Elite level band. They had one guitar player, a bass player, a drummer, and a singer. They were all elite. And I mean elite.
Yeah.
But there was enough room for Joe to show that he was elite.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas, like, if somebody were to join on guitar in the band that I'm in now, it's not a great format for a guitar player to be like, I'm the best guitar player in this. Like, this is a band where you have to, like, really be reserved. Like you kind of said, it's like a mainstream rock feel.
Yeah.
Like, for example, that main guitar player from Stained is one of the best guitar players on the planet. But nobody will ever fucking know it because he's in Stained. And they started to show that off a little bit at the end of their career.
And then Aaron Lewis lost his rocker.
But then the reality is as those guitar players started to show that they were dope, they alienated the sound and the style that Aaron was great as a singer. So regardless of his mental health or any of that, I'm saying musically, it also fell apart because shredding in Stained doesn't work, right? Like we're not going to add Ian if you joined this band. We wouldn't add you to shred.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's not that vibe. That's my point. Is that's what's happened to Neil his whole career in this town. 6, not bass centric, right? When he was in Death Row Martyr, not bass centric. Do you know what I'm saying? Ghost of Mississippi, not bass centric. It's not Primus. It's not Dave Matthews. There's no room for him to show how big of a dick he has.
But in our latest stuff, he's been bringing it out.
Fair, and I'm not arguing about that.
Our unreleased stuff, yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, I know because I've been in rooms with him how great he is at that instrument, that
he has
most people would be blown away by how great he is.
Talk about a guy
at
with
his instrument.
An ear for tone.
And you want to talk about fucking ego and humble and fucking cool to be around? You're describing Neil.
He's the best.
Because he's better than everybody at his instrument, and he doesn't ever talk about it.
Never.
He doesn't complain about that he doesn't get those moments.
Never.
That's the guy you want in every band on every instrument.
Dude, I'm glad you can appreciate him like that. I try to tell him that, but I fall short of words. But he's
play him this clip, and then go fuck yourself, Neil. I can't kiss his ass that much and then not say something nasty. Come on,
dude. Him and his woman started a barbecue sauce company. Have you tried that barbecue sauce?
No, and dude. Here's why. Because my grandma makes barbecue sauce that she also sells. So I got to be very careful about admitting that other people make good barbecue sauce. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
You know what? You let me try your grandma's barbecue sauce.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
But it's not good if you're making ribs. And I actually had this conversation with my grandma.
They're fucking sweet. Oh,
I had this conversation with my grandma, and she goes, yeah, you would never use my sauce to baste ribs. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, now I got to fucking pass. Because, like, it was hard. She goes, my barbecue sauce is a dipping sauce. So you make your pork, and then you dip your pork in my sauce. You don't use my sauce in your cook. And I go, oh my God, I feel so much better now because I didn't know how to get across to my grandma that her sauce sucked on ribs. But yeah, she knows that's not what it's for. But
if you get
I'll have to try it, especially if you think it might be good on ribs. I make perfect ribs now. Bro, I make a perfect brisket and I make perfect ribs.
I remember the ribeyes.
Those rib eyes were all right. Those were good rib eyes.
Pretty good.
Those were good. I've done better. Bro, I will fucking smoke and grill a steak now.
Dude, you're making me
with mesquite. Bro.
Dude, you can't talk to me like this.
Homeboy.
Dude, I am rock hard.
You don't even understand how good of a cook
I'm as hard as that glass right now.
I've become such a good cook, especially in the smoker. It's
good.
It's like, no.
I'm sorry for ignoring you and not hanging out as much as you invite me to hang out. I apologize for that,
dude. No, do you know how many people I invite to those things?
I understand, but like I mean that because like I think you treat me like you respect me. You treat me well as a person, as a good friend, and I respect that.
I genuinely love you, dude.
I really
do, though. I really, from the bottom of my heart, dude. I love you. I admire you. I respect you. I wish that I was such a good musician that when I was like, Ian, come over, you'd just be like, yes. Like, that's what I feel my big shortcoming is in most of my problems. Most of my problems evolve from this. I have now learned and accepted that I am not as good a musician as I think I am. Because if I was, when I did shit and I was like, you should come, everybody would say yes instead of I don't have time, I'm busy, I'm in too many bands. If I was actually dope, I
could actually be busy though because dude,
if I was actually dope though, it would be a bigger priority. If I was Prince, none of these objections would be a thing.
I don't like Prince.
You get my point though.
But I don't like Prince.
But if Prince asked you to come jam on a song, you would do it.
Yeah, and I came and jammed on one of your songs.
Thank you. So you get my point. You don't even like that guy, but you have enough. You see what I'm saying? You're
trying to pin me like I don't like you.
No, I'm talking about everybody else right now.
Okay.
I'm talking about because you have done all the things I'm referring to. You have come jam with me. You have collaborated with me.
You dapped me up. I get to do you now. Okay. All right.
None of these things are passive aggressively about you. I use the word "you" as a proverbial metaphor for.
Dude, you told me you said very personal things about how awesome I was. So I think
those were literal.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, man.
I'm saying okay. I gotta back up.
Yeah, you do need to.
You can dap me up in a second, but I need to back up.
No, right now, it's happening.
What I mean by, I wish I was more dope, so people like you the proverbial you.
I understand what you're saying.
When I make the phone call and go, hey, I got this song, I want you to do leads on it.
I understand.
I wish I was so dope that everybody was like, done, send me the tracks. I'll do it tonight.
I've seen you struggle with this, and it's it sucks to watch you struggle with it. It sucks.
I wish I was better. I need to be better,
dude. The thing, bro, the thing. You're equal parts. You wish you were better, but you're better than you are too. You are. I think
I'm irresponsible and I'm undisciplined.
Dude, you are such an underrated vocalist, dude. Your clean vocals, they get my willies go. Dude, come on.
That's not true. That's not true.
I know you say that, but we've gotten drunk before and you sang like entire Johnny Rook records to me, dude.
Bro, when you busted me out on Facebook and you were like, Jared and I got drunk one night and he literally serenaded me to the entire Johnny Rook record. All I could do was comment and go, this is a factually correct statement. I couldn't defend myself in any way.
Bro, you sounded as good, if not better. Dude,
I did tell Zach if James ever quits that band, I want an audition because I do sound like James. That band, but I do sound like James though. I can sing exactly like that guy.
Have you seen them? Have you seen them recently?
I'm not better than them.
Have you seen them?
No, and I'll fucking tell you why. Dude, I'll tell you why because I've talked to Zach about this.
Okay.
I can't. I can't get down with the fucking 2-singer, 2-electric guitar player deal. Like, to me, it's like what we were talking about earlier, how bands and podcasters go through phases. I can't do this version of Johnny. Like, I love the music, but I can't, like, there's too many people on stage now. Everybody's playing an electric guitar. Like,
yeah, but dude, have you heard the gang vocals?
I seen Amanda in the comments earlier, and back in the day when her and I dated, it was just Zach on stage with an acoustic guitar through a Marshall guitar rig, and it was the biggest, most beautiful sounding band I've ever heard in my life.
He's so
and so anything that's not that to me isn't Johnny Rook. It's a version of Johnny. And the only version I've ever accepted is when my homeboy Dalton was the lead guitar player for it, and they went and recorded Nameless Ghost down in Nashville. And ironically, they hate that record. The band Johnny Rook hates my favorite record of theirs. And I'm like, this is Johnny Rook to me. And they're like, that's our least favorite record.
You're crazy, man. Their newest stuff is so fucking good. They play at that mental health for mental health show last year. It was incredible, dude. Like, they had like maybe like 5 or 6 people on stage, and they'd all drop their instruments and stand up and shout gang vocals at certain parts.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Dude, are you kidding me? How is that not fucking the coolest shit? Dude, it was incredible, man.
The only way I will ever sing again on stage. The only way I will ever sing on stage again,
karaoke,
is if
for me
somehow somebody gets me drunk like you did, and I sing Johnny Rook in front of the boys in Johnny Rook, and they think I'm good enough to come up and do
a song or two.
Shoreline and the Safety with James.
That's the best song.
That's the only way I'll ever do it.
Wait, just wait. That's the one, right?
Dude, yeah,
she's all I've ever had.
And there's a couple harmonies you can do in there.
Wait, that one, or else what was the other one?
Light in the Attic.
You done the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yep.
Been away for so long. Fuck yeah, dude. That band is so good. God damn it.
Wrong Thing, Light in the Attic, and
I take it back, dude. They're my favorite local band over Orwell and Iron Thrones. We were talking earlier.
Johnny Rook, dude.
Fucking A. They're so good. And their name is cool.
The new band that's doing dope shit is Uncle Daddy, and I
know them.
Dude,
I know
they're
some of them.
So good, dude.
We played shows with them. I know them. Yeah, they're good.
So
they're very good.
The podcast started to work enough to where when Uncle Daddy did one of their shows a couple of years ago, I had been talking so much hype about them. Because I love to play these like thought experiments, like who's the best band in town right now, right? Who's the hardest working band in town?
I don't know right now, but yeah,
right. So I went on record and I was like, if you gun to my head, and I gotta please the most amount of people, like you get one band to represent the entire city of Minneapolis, or you're gonna die right now. Like fucking Rick and Morty when the head comes down, you know, show me what you got. I'm picking Uncle Daddy. That's my first round draft pick. That's how good I think they are.
Well,
that pissed a lot of people off.
Musically, they're good, but like swagger and live, they're excellent.
Elite.
Excellent.
And that's what I mean.
Their live show is excellent.
And they rehearse a lot, so they're tight.
Yep.
Like, so when
and they got the tones too.
Yeah, it's everything. It's everything, the total package, and that's what I mean. Right?
The vocalist Joy, man, that guy can sing.
And they're a rock band, right? So like, yes, I understand some of you guys are because my point is I pissed a lot of people off with this image because a lot of people from the metal scene suddenly came out to the show one night. And I'm like, what the fuck are all you doing here? And they went, well, you said they're the best band in town. We got to see what's up. And I was like, what the fuck?
Really?
I'm talking like literally. Dan Copy didn't say this to me. That's not the person I just quoted, but he was there that night. Dan Copy doesn't show up to Uncle Daddy for no fucking reason.
Interesting.
I built enough hype where I was like, no, this is the best band in town because I think they have the total package. Yes, the guys in fucking Reaping Asmodea can absolutely outshred every single one of those guys on all their instruments.
Everyone in Minnesota.
That's not what it means to be a great band to me. To me, being a great band, first and foremost, number one is being great live and having great songs at the same time. Uncle Daddy is the epitome of that for me. But Johnny Rook B was one of those for me. Yeah. Dude, Dan Knight and Sean together, dude, their chemistry live, when you would see them live, and I understand some people didn't love them on record, but
God, I can't remember the name. Hope. What was it? It was something and something.
Hope and
something like that. Yeah, it was.
I know.
Oh, they were a good band too. Then there was Destrophy.
They were from Iowa.
From Iowa. Though that's a killer rock band.
They were an incredible band.
Yeah.
Their big
for
issue,
rock, we're talking, yeah.
Their big problem was what was his name? Ari or Ami or something like that.
Something like that.
He called it the Brain, which he had this giant road case, which was like basically a traveling computer that was supposed to control their light show, their sound, their fucking smoke, everything. And every single show, something went wrong. So they never had a show that went right.
City and Sound?
Sound and Fury.
That's the band.
Sound and Fury.
That band fucking kicked ass. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine. But my point is like the Destrophy thing is what inspired me to be a minimalist musician. So I learned from watching and playing shows with Destrophy and studying them.
Was Ari. Yeah.
I watched them and studied them that every single show their tech failed. And so every single show they were pissed off and they never had a quote unquote good show. So I learned right away, make your shit simple and easy to execute. Therefore, we give ourselves the greatest potential to have our top show. It's the same thing with a fancy car. You get a fancy car, it's cute until it's super old and it starts breaking down. There's so many things that start failing on those fucking super fancy cars.
I know. Yeah, the supercars, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
20,000 miles, you got to replace an engine.
It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Or you even get into like a fucking normal car, like an Audi.
I have one of them, and it's cost me $11,000 to rebuild the engine in it.
Dude, I can still drive
1991. It's crazy.
I can still drive a 1971 Chevy.
Yeah.
But to try to get a 2001 Audi up and running again, it's like, oh my God.
Very difficult.
There's so many computers in there and sensors that deactivate shit, and it's too many things that can possibly go wrong when it matters, right? So it's all fine and good when you're sitting in your garage and you have all night to fix things, but when it's the night of a show and we gotta fucking hit the fucking stage and I need everything to perform, that's why I love things like analog pedals. That's why I love things like tube amps. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because, dude, when this digital shit, there's so many things that can be at fault, and it's like it could be 6 weeks before I get my amp repaired. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just framed my mindset and how to execute a plan.
Well, and you and I talked earlier, not earlier today, but like last year at one of your barbecues, we were talking about like how, we both of us are of the opinion that we're fans of analog versus digital versus modeling amps. I was one of the first people that owned an Axe Effects. I was one of like the first 200 people on the list, and I bought one. And I could not get it to push air to feel live in real life, even through powered PAs. Nothing compares to I have a Mesa Mark III. Blue Stripe, and then I also have a Diesel.
I remember that.
A Diesel Einstein, and both of those amps I've never heard anything analog, or I mean digital, that can even fucking come close in person, in your ear, on record, through a speaker.
The Kemper is definitely capable
Yeah.
if you know what you're doing.
I have one.
Yeah.
I have a Kemper, but I just fuck around with it. I don't do anything.
One of the big things I heard about the Kemper is you got to turn off cab emulation. Cab emulation will ruin your life.
Unless you go through a powered PA.
I think cab
Because they
emulation
emulate through a PA, because otherwise it sounds grainy, like like if you're doing a digital out.
I'm on the verge of speaking out of pocket right now, but I think the idea is that cab emulation should only be used for DI recording, because you're emulating the idea that cab in between your head
Or
and
PA,
the DAW.
or PA, because you're emulating.
I can't say if you're right or wrong is what I'm saying. I don't know enough about that.
It is true, because you don't have a cab, so you need to emulate it through a PA. Otherwise, you just get the preamp sound, that really like fucking grainy, like harsh kind of buzzy shit. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because if you're pushing through an actual physical cab, you don't want to emulate a cab between your head and your actual cab.
Dude, I should bring that fucking diesel down. Dude, you got to hear that fucking diesel.
Honestly, I'd rather fuck around with that fucking Kemper.
Nope.
I'd rather fuck around with it just because I don't know enough about it, and people keep asking me about this idea, and it's like, okay, the only way I'm going to do this is with 1,000 hours of fuckery. Like who in their right mind posits an opinion forward without actual fucking experience on the gear?
Here, I'll just talk to you about it.
I would never do that, dude.
So like the adjustability on those things is just absolutely bonkers. Like you can adjust tube bias, you can adjust capacitor size, you can adjust voltage. I mean, if you're a tech, they're a dream. But you and I, man, I mean, there's 100 parameters in these amps you can adjust. You're just
right, and that's why I say I'm a tube guy.
It's overwhelming.
That's why I say I'm a tube guy, because here's the thing: is like, just give me the parameters and let me dial in this tone.
I hear you saying, yeah.
Whereas, like what you just described, you could redo the capacitors, you could re-diagram this, you could do that, blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah. Just set me up with this amp.
You know what's crazy?
And then let me dial in the tone.
So when I had an Axe Effects, I was doing. That's
where I get lost.
What I ended up doing was emulating one of my friend's 5150s with all the mods he had that his builder gave me. I ended up emulating all that, and that was the best tone that I got out of that thing.
Right, exactly.
Just like,
is it true?
What's the point?
Is it true you can capture white noise from an amp?
Oh, and delete it?
No. So like what I heard is
like reverse phase it.
So you basically plug your 5150 into the Kemper. It can record the white noise of the output, of the speaker output, and it'll literally model every single thing based on that white noise. So however you have your 5150 set up,
just plug it in,
whatever it's whatever tubes it is, whatever this is, whatever that is, it just pulls it in.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, that's how it was described to me. That was the whole and somebody could have been bullshitting me. But the way he was describing it to me is that's the fucking point. Is you plug your other amp into this, it literally listens to the white noise like what's coming through this headphone right now. And it can gauge every single voltage signal, everything that comes in the form of an output audio signal, and it just replicates that, and then you have that amp.
Okay, so my experience...
You don't know anything about that, though?
No, I don't.
He probably made that up.
That sounds awesome.
He probably made that up.
I'm not very knowledgeable about him. I don't believe I wouldn't say he's not making up
bullshit.
I wouldn't say that.
It sounded like bullshit. It was hard to believe, but
if you played through it, it sounds like that's a possibility. You know, not the white noise. That doesn't make sense. But if you play through it, but like, I haven't dove deep into it because I use it as a Bluetooth speaker. Oh.
Bitch.
Dude, it sounds sick. Dude, it's got a sub in it. It sounds fucking amazing for a Bluetooth speaker. So that's why I got it on sale. I got it super cheap on sale. But what you can do, my little brother, I have a Sir Strat. It's like a $3,500 Strat. It's incredible. It's one of the most amazing guitars ever.
Have you had that for a while?
No.
Okay.
No, I bought it with him last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a really good paying job this past year, so I blew a shitload of money. Dude, I bought all my favorite guitars, all my favorite. I just went for it. You know, like I'm 40.
Good for you,
fuck
man.
it.
I'm laughing because that's what everybody would do in your situation.
Dude.
So when you were like, I had a good paying job, so I spent a lot of money. I laughed because I was like, yeah, that's probably what I would have done.
You should come over and check out the gear sometime, dude. It's good.
And
it's good.
And
it's
and
fucking good.
And you know good gear. So there's that same dude I was talking about with the nipple thing at work.
The long ones.
He's a great guitar player. He's a great guitar player.
AA batteries or what?
No. He just got weird when I tried to give him a titty twist.
Oh, he wasn't the big thick
dime
nipple
type,
guy.
no,
Yeah,
the dime size.
Yeah,
That was PA
the
from
stack of
K-Fed.
dimes.
No, but dude, he's constantly showing me these guitars.
A fucking roll of dimes for nipples. Oh man,
bro. So he's constantly showing me these like $350, $450 to get it, and then I'm gonna do this. And it's an eye roll moment because I'm like, I just need you. I tried because he's always talking about amps, shitty amps, and I mean shitty, like these fucking like jacked up Line 6. And I'm like, dude, here's what you need to do, Brent. You need to come down to my place, and I want you to play good gear, like play through. And this isn't even top of the line pro gear. No, this is just good gear.
Dude, but a 5150 for playing guitar, you have to experience that.
And that's what I'm saying. You need to come play through a real 5150 and realize that $350, $450, $350, $350, $350. You've got 8 amps here that outcost my 1 amp, and my 1 amp will smash every single one of those. Yeah. Same thing. Come down and even just play this Epiphone Les Paul. That's not even a real Gibson Les Paul, but it's a really, really fucking high-end Epiphone Les Paul. Come play that, and then stop fucking spending $300 on these obscure, wonky-ass fucking guitars. Like, get into a Gibson, dude. Like, good gear matters, dude.
It does.
It's more enjoyable to play.
Yeah.
It makes you so much, dude, oh my God. Especially how good he is. He's so fucking good, Ian.
Dude, buying this acoustic, it was I kicked myself for not doing it 20 years ago.
Right? Like once you get
did it? I could have been shredding my ass off on a
dude. And for 20,
I could have 20 years of experience playing this thing,
dude. And isn't it weird? Like when you get really great guitar tone, like suddenly you're like writing better riffs.
Dude,
you ever notice that?
Well, I mean, you're having like you're having like an orgasm playing it. Yeah, and you're just like, oh my God, like, oh, that sounds like fucking whoever.
Yeah, I just want him to like experience what I've seen, and it doesn't. And here's the other thing: this great gear holds it, especially if you buy it used. Oh my God, dude! Like if you can go get a used 5150 right now for $750. It'll never be worth less than $750.
No, and
it'll never be worth less than that.
And you can still find those deals, which is nuts, dude. Like sometimes you can see them for like $600.
I got mine for $600 like 7 years ago.
Dude, I got my fucking Mesa Mark III Blue Stripe for $700.
Yeah.
Unreal, dude. That thing goes for $3,000 right now used.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You're just like, what?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a great place, but then you buy these shitty fucking Mexican Fenders and Line 6 and fucking.
Are we gonna go for a bit longer here?
We can, but we don't have to. We should.
I just want
actually, it's almost 10 o'clock. We should wrap it up.
Okay. I just wonder if I can.
Do you have any gigs coming up soon?
Borrow a beer or something?
You can definitely grab a beer. Do you have any gigs before you grab that beer? Do you have any gigs coming up?
Oh fuck yes!
Watch that guitar behind you again. You're good. I gotta switch that. Ghost of Mississippi, or are you?
Yeah, we have a lot of gigs coming up. Actually, I think it's August. When's the Metallica show?
I don't know. Do you guys have a website?
16th and 18th? No, we don't. Well, Facebook. We have a Facebook. Ghost of Mississippi.
Is it? It's Ghosts of the Mississippi, right?
Yes, Ghosts of the Mississippi. We always say Ghosts of Mississippi.
And
it's one of our songs.
And I also trip out about whether it's the Ghosts of Mississippi or whether it's the Ghosts of the Mississippi.
Shit.
But I think it's Ghosts of the Mississippi.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, we have a show in River Falls, Wisconsin at the Tarnation Tavern on August 17th. That's our next show.
Sick.
I'm stoked on it. We haven't announced them yet, and I won't, but we have another one early August, and then we have 2 coming in October. We have a Halloween show, and then we have another one early October, and then we have a December show as well coming up.
I got shows coming up too. I can't announce them yet, but stay tuned. I'm gonna relaunch everything. The website's coming back up. All that shit's coming back. I can't tell you the band name. I can't tell you anything right now, but it is real. It is happening. I appreciate you guys for being here. We're gonna wrap this up. I want to hang out with Ian for a little bit more before he's got to get out of here. So I love you guys.
Hey, make sure to check out his new band too, because he showed me a bunch of tracks before this, and it's like 9.5 out of 10 good. It's that good.
Man. Thank you, man.
It's fucking that dude is that writer is unreal. It's so good.
Yeah, and I can't take any credit for any of the music that's been written. The only thing I can take credit for is seeing something great and joining when I.
Oh, dude, you're gonna be great live too. Like the way your pop, how you drum, and how you're bring so much energy to it. It's going to be great.
I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're going to do some special things. I really think Jeremy's going to be moving the needle with this project. So stay tuned. We'll see you next week. I believe next week it's Eric Kai's. If I'm wrong about next week, then Eric Kai's is coming up the week after that. Booking has picked up. We're getting very close to being official. What I mean by official, like every week, for sure. So I love you guys. I appreciate you sticking with us through the drought. That's what we're going to call this. We're going to call this the drought. Yeah, and I just can't say thank you guys. So yeah, have a good night and peace out. I don't have an outro anymore. It's so awkward to try to do this. All right, later, guys.
I'm just going to sit here like this.